Hello, hello. Good evening to you all. Uh, I thank you guys for coming and checking out what is in the news. A whole lot of humbug and BS is really in the news. Oh my goodness, I thought I stopped that. I apologize. Okay, let's get into today's news. There is a lot of craziness going on. Detach myself. Thank you for dropping down. The other six of you, thank you for being here. And since you're here, please hit the like button. Since you're here, okay. Since you show up, uh, I'd appreciate if you hit the like button. In lieu of you not dropping down. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's get into the news of the day or the remainder of yesterday. Let's get in it. Let me remind you of all of the links are in my description box. That is the first thing that I want to remind you about. Let me remove the big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood that the United States of America gave to China in order to help it secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader. But didn't Japan invade us as well? So weren't we protecting ourselves? Okay, but in World War II, but I'll continue. Many Americans died in China's quest for victory and glory. So we didn't want any victory and glory over the people who dropped a bomb in Pearl Harbor. It was all about China. I hope that they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regard to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong Un as you conspire against me, the United States of America President Donald J. Trump. Somebody's triggered. Somebody is quite triggered. Okay, so he saw Chi and he saw Chi, Putin, and Modi laughing, having a good belly laugh, and he, much like most of us who saw that, understood that they were laughing at a clown that he has presented himself to be on the world stage, in my opinion. So I think that he think that they were laughing at him as well, and if they weren't, they should have been. Okay, so we're in all of those nations that they were laughing together. Uh, they weren't cry together. They were laughing together. What is the rest of the words? We don't know something. I forget all the words of that Teddy song "Cry Together." With all our ups and downs and all our something something. Yes, we laugh together. So let me remind you of who exactly we're talking about. We're talking about our crime lover in chief. So if you didn't remember our crime lover in chief, I am going to share this with you right now. Uh, some of the crimes are so recent that they are not included in this clip. So let's review our crime lover in chief. Let's have a review. Let's review. Come on. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
He said it multiple times this week. Today he explained why a lot of people...
My bad. My bad. Here we go.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump, the president of these United States, wants to be a dictator. He is trying to be a dictator. He said it multiple times this week. Today he explained why a lot of people, I think in his own head, think he should be a dictator because he's stopping all the crimes.
So the line is that I'm a dictator, but I stop crime. So a lot of people say, you know, if that's the case, I'd rather have a dictator. But I'm not a dictator. I just know how to stop crime.
Ah, yes, Donald Trump, tough on crime. It just depends on who's doing the crime, doesn't it? Beyond all his administration's lies and the mobilization of federal law enforcement in Los Angeles and Washington and members of the U.S. military, Donald Trump is the most unabashedly pro-criminal, pro-crime president of my lifetime. In fact, I started compiling this list of all the people that Donald Trump has pardoned or come to the aid of just since taking office in January, and it is mind-boggling. On his first day in office, Donald Trump pardoned every last one of the January 6th insurrectionists who stormed the Capitol and attempted a coup against the U.S. government on his behalf. Roughly 1,500 convicted or suspected accused criminals. They included hundreds who were handed lengthy sentences for very serious felonies, such as assaulting police with deadly weapons. Many of those rioters have had, maybe you won't be shocked to hear this, serious brushes with the law since they were pardoned. Andrew Tate is one example. He used a metal whip and bear spray to assault police officers at the Capitol. He was sentenced to 6 years after bragging about these crimes to a woman on a dating app. 2 weeks after being pardoned by Trump and freed from prison, he was arrested in Texas for soliciting a minor for sex. Then on the second day of his presidency, Donald Trump pardoned Ross Ulbricht, founder of the Silk Road and online black market for drug dealing. The guy took hundreds of millions in commissions on sales of methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and other opioids. I mean, you could make a case he was the biggest drug dealer in American history. He was serving life sentences without the possibility of parole when Donald Trump pardoned him unconditionally. On his third day in office, Trump pardoned
Why is that important? He pardoned this one man who was a multi-millionaire. He got a pardon for all of these drugs. This was not a brown man. This was a white man, and he got a pardon after being sentenced to life in prison. This is who they're not going to be bringing drugs into America. Now we have I believe it's 8 warships and a nuclear submarine sitting in the Caribbean waters. I have been telling you that they have been bringing these warships into the Gulf as early as February of this year. And I was asking, hey, are you guys aware of these warships that are piling up? Now, this is the guy who pardoned someone who had bought so much drugs into the country, a white man. But now they are feigning a reason to go to war with Nicaragua. They are putting up fake reasons to go to strike in Mexico because of drugs. Did you guys forget that? I just wanted to refresh you guys about that. And we're going to talk about the boat that was struck that allegedly had 11 gang members on it, but no proof of such thing. And they were unalived. And now there are questions if that was even legal for our military to strike a boat just claim without any proof that these were gang members bringing in drugs to the United States. If you didn't know about that, you may want to know about that. And there are big questions about the legality of this attack. But this is the man who pardoned a serious convicted drug dealer. Let's go back. Let's go, and money launderer. He's tough on crime. The criminal who's tough on crime. Let's get Let's get back to it.
And bear spray to assault police officers at the Capitol. He was sentenced to 6 years after bragging about these crimes to a woman on a dating app. 2 weeks after being pardoned by Trump and freed from prison, he was arrested in Texas for soliciting a minor for sex. Then on the second day of his presidency, Donald
Well, is that a crime in this administration? I'll let you go.
Trump pardoned Ross Ulbricht, founder of the Silk Road and online black market for drug dealing. The guy took hundreds of millions in commissions on sales of methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and other opioids. I mean, you could make a case he was the biggest drug dealer in American history. He was serving 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole when Donald Trump pardoned him unconditionally.
Y'all must have forgotten. Y'all must have forgotten about this. Okay, let's go.
On his third day in office, Trump pardoned Washington, D.C. police officer Tara Sutton and Lieutenant Andrew Zabowski. Sutton illegally chased a 20-year-old man on a moped for 10 blocks. He struck another car and died in the crash. The 2 officers then tried to cover up their role in his death. They were sentenced to hard time for obstructing justice. Trump pardoned them, falsely claiming the motorist they had killed was illegal. They have since been reinstated to the D.C. police force. Trump also pardoned former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, convicted on 17 counts of corruption, including an attempt that we all remember and all heard to sell off Barack Obama's former Senate seat. Trump pardoned him using the former Democrat's criminal case as a way to discount the myriad investigations, indictments, and convictions that he faced. He pardoned Brian Kelsey, a Republican former Tennessee state senator, a guy that was 2 weeks into a 21-month sentence for a campaign finance fraud when Trump pardoned him. He illegally funneled nearly $100,000 into a failed congressional campaign. In May,
Is that a bad thing? Is that wrong? I guess not.
Trump pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley, TV reality stars who were serving federal prison sentences for wire and bank fraud. The lavish lifestyle they flaunted on air was apparently bankrolled by fraudulent bank loans the couple hid from tax authorities. They were two of nearly 24 convicted fraudsters, thieves, and drug dealers Trump pardoned in May. Again, this is way beyond the pace of any president in my lifetime. He also pardoned Trevor Milton. He was the founder of an electric truck company. He was sentenced to federal prison for exaggerating the company's technology, up to and including a fake commercial in which they pushed an immobile model of the truck down a hill to make it look like it could really drive fast.
With all the cameras in place, the director calls action and sends the truck. Powered by nothing but gravity, this shell of a truck gathers a big head of steam. By the time it passes the film crew, it's cruising at interstate speed. Beautiful. Cut.
The truck didn't actually work. Milton went to jail for it because he defrauded people. Last year, he donated $1.8 million to Donald Trump's campaign, and Trump pardoned him in March. Thanks to that pardon, Milton will not need to compensate his shareholders who lost millions. Now, that is just a partial list of Trump's pardons and commutations since he took office 7 months ago. It's a wild list. It's unlike any list I've ever seen or ever covered. But in that time, he has also gone out of his way to accommodate some of the worst accused and convicted criminals you can imagine, like the manosphere influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate, who have been accused in multiple countries of rape, human trafficking, and sex with minors. In fact, they have been held for 3 years.
And isn't it peculiar that these type of crimes, he is lenient on these people? I wonder why. I wonder what would make a person just come out in the bright sunshine and help people who are facing trial on these crimes. I wonder what make it so easy for him to go the long road for these type of people. Accused of rape, trafficking minors, sex with a minor, money laundering, and witness tampering.
On charges in Romania when allies in the Trump administration worked to have them repatriated to the U.S. as within weeks of being at home, Andrew Tate, who denies the many, many horrible charges against him, faced new legal trouble.
He faced new legal trouble, I believe, in Britain. Oh, it's on here.
Civil suit filed in Los Angeles this week. Model Bree Stern accusing Tate of sexually assaulting and choking her at the Beverly Hills Hotel earlier this month. Stern sitting down with NBC News from Los Angeles in her first interview about that night.
Talk to me about what was going through your mind in that moment.
I was scared to death. I was terrified that I might die.
Remember, the Trump administration went out of their way to get the Tates and bring them into the U.S. And it's also important to remember, even as Trump and his aides were falsely accusing hundreds of men, from hairdressers to soccer enthusiasts, of being hardcore MS-13 gang members and disappearing them from the country, that federal prosecutors under Trump are now quietly dropping charges against the actual bona fide leaders of that gang they spent years pursuing and charging. In fact,
now, I told you this last week. These real gang members, their charges are being dropped here. Let me make sure my mic is on. These their charges are being dropped here in the United States. They are being sent back to El Salvador, where it is alleged that they have a cushy type of friendship with the president of El Salvador, and he's doing this upon a request from the president of El Salvador. In exchange, he would take in all of these people who they rounded up and ignored a judge's order and sent them to El Salvador anyway. I think I covered this about 2 weeks ago, maybe last week. There is an alleged deal between 4547 and the El Salvador president to free actual real gang members and drop charges in the United States against real gang members. I told you.
Trump is actually freeing those gang leaders and sending them to El Salvador's president, Nayib Bukele. And the Trump administration may be doing it to cover up corruption. According to a New York Times investigation, U.S. prosecutors have amassed substantial evidence of a corrupt pact between the Salvadoran government and some high-ranking MS-13 leaders who they say agreed to drive down violence and bolster Bukele politically in exchange for cash and perks in jail. Don't forget, Trump also intervened on the behalf of a man named Dahoud Hanid Ortiz, a U.S. Venezuelan dual citizen who returned here as part of that prisoner swap from Venezuela last month. This individual was convicted of bludgeoning 3 people to death in an office in Spain where he was looking for a man he suspected of sleeping with his ex-girlfriend. He murdered 3 people, according to Venezuelan courts. He was charged in Madrid. He was brought back to the U.S. and freed by Donald Trump, according to most recent reporting, whereabouts unknown, just out in the country. And then
in a city or state near you. The anti-crime person who is putting the National Guard on the streets to fight what? Is this who you are trusting to fight crime? Let's continue.
Of course, there's Ghislaine Maxwell, the Palm Beach socialite who recruited and groomed young women for child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. Many of Epstein's accusers say Maxwell also abused them personally. She knows as much as anyone alive about Epstein's depraved crimes and his associates, and the Trump administration moved her to a minimum security prison against existing federal prison policy, giving her an extraordinary waiver to be in a prison she couldn't be in because she's a sex offender. After interviewing her for 2 days and getting her on tape saying she never saw Donald Trump be anything but perfect gentleman. These are the criminal, an unbelievable list of people who have done truly awful things, most of them convicted felons, some accused of doing truly awful things. Each one of these alone would be a scandal that wrecked another administration. Do you remember the single Willie Horton ad in 1988? And all that list of all these people, I mean, MS-13 kingpins, people convicted of a triple homicide, a woman who's the accomplice of the most notorious sex trafficker in American history, they all come from the man who claims he's undoing American carnage, fixing a rampant crime problem that largely exists only in his mind and serves, obviously, as a pretext for targeting his political enemies, whoever they may be, targeting people like recently, and we'll get into this later, Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook claiming she committed mortgage fraud, needs to be fired, or raiding John Bolton's home and office, saying he mishandled classified information, threatening to reopen the Bridgegate investigation because former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie criticized him on TV. Right? All these people that are his enemies are criminals.
Okay, so that is in my description box. Peruse it at your leisure. I played pretty much of that swamp creature in chief. In their eyes, it isn't. Corrupt to the core. GOP is okay with it. Now, I just really wanted to remind you of this. Now, he left off on the Ghislaine Maxwell situation of it all. Now, we know that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, adjourned Congress early because he got whiff that they were going to call a vote on the floor to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell to question her. And he left early. He prevented it by leaving early. And then the strange thing happens that the number two in charge at the DOJ, who did not prosecute her case or who didn't do anything other than be 45, 47 personal attorney against what's her name, Stormy Daniels, that Stormy Daniels case. That's who went down and questioned Ghislaine Maxwell, 4547's personal attorney, who in this administration got the cushy job under Pam Bimbo as second in charge of the Department of Justice. Going to interview a criminal is way below his pay grade. You do understand that. You do understand that someone who actually was in the prosecution of Ghislaine Maxwell, who knew the case inside and out, would have been a better person. But of course, that better person was James Comey's daughter, who prosecuted that case successfully and got her 20 years in jail. You know what happened to her? She couldn't go question her because they fired her. But surely she wasn't the singular person on that case against Ghislaine Maxwell, and someone else could have went down there. And I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell, and he said the strange thing. He said that they put out the transcripts of, what is his name? Todd. What is his name? They put out the transcripts of him interviewing her. Todd Branch. They put out the transcripts first, and the transcripts it makes it appear as if the person who is transcribing what went on in this meeting is in the room. However, when you then hear the transcript, you understand that it was only she and himself, and I think another person. Todd Branch brought another person in there with him, and he said what you don't hear in the transcripts is that the transcriber was not in the room. She was giving some recordings to transcribe, and what you also don't hear is in the written transcript, it's all the laughing that was going on, the he, and they just oh all of the oh but you do hear all the leading questions. You definitely hear him asking her a question where he's giving her the answer. You also hear him finishing her sentences with what would be a good thing to say. That's what you do hear, and you do read in these transcripts. So let's get up. So now today we had a hearing. Now the Oversight Committee wants all of the Republicans, everyone, to vote on a discharge petition. A discharge petition stating that they will release all of the Jeffrey Epstein's files. And now James Comer, who leads the committee, he wants to say, no, that's not necessary to do. We are releasing the files. You know, they had a date to release the file, I believe it was last Friday, and they said that they will start releasing some of the files. Of course, the first set of the files was stuff that had already been released, already been gone overseen, and then last night, coincidentally, after they called for a discharge vote. Now, you notice how the Republicans are working in Congress when they will close down Congress, when the, what was her name, Kim, somebody on the Oversight Committee put it on a vote on the floor to release the Epstein files, the chair of the committee acted as if he didn't even hear her put something on the floor and adjourned the meeting, only to have to come back in the room 5 minutes later. I played that for you. I played that here for you on the news. See, this is what was actually in the news. So he comes back 5 minutes later, and they have to vote on it. And yes, it passed, and that was what allowed them to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. But Comer, in subpoenaing Ghislaine Maxwell, he also subpoenaed Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, who else? But thankfully, they did subpoena Robert Acosta. You know, Robert Acosta, who was the labor secretary in 45-47's first term, a good buddy who had to retire from being labor secretary when questions came out in how in 2007 did Jeffrey Epstein get a sweetheart deal where he did not have to do anything but spend his nights in prison, and he could do whatever he wanted to do wherever he wanted to be during the day. And the plea agreement also forbade anybody else who was connected with his crimes, and of course they chopped down his crimes to be less nefarious than they were. And so now Robert Acosta, he has been subpoenaed, but you know, what is that word that 45-47 like to do? I don't give a fuck if Bill Clinton is in there, whatever, whoever is in there who abuse children. And you will notice in Ghislaine Maxwell recounting of the events, she calls them women, but these were children that she consistently called women, and is never corrected to my knowledge, that to any of the things that I heard by Todd Blanche, 45-47 personal attorney, never corrected her to say, no, these are children. Okay, so now today, all the shit has hit the fan. So they are trying to get around voting on this discharge. Hey, room shaker. They're trying to get around voting on this discharge petition, and they're trying to say, well, everything is already being done already. Well, you know, it's not like we don't want to sign it. It's like, well, what, you know, it's already being done. So they dumped a second pile of papers last night. They said it was 33,000 pages. So they're trying. Why are you asking for a discharge position? You are getting the second boatload of papers that was supposed to have been sent over a week ago. You're getting the second pile of these papers that had a distinct date when all of the papers were to be handed over to this body of Congress. You're getting the second wave. No, you were supposed to have already had all of the papers. So why are you complaining? The second wave of paper last night, they said 97% of the stuff in there had already been released, and the other 3% was immaterial to anything that would help them further their investigation into this Epstein thing. Now I am a little late on sometimes seeing comments. Sometimes people write comments, and if I have them blocked, sorry, I don't see your comments. If you've gotten blocked out of my chat and you'll still go over and write something in my chat, I don't see it. If I block you, I don't want to see it or you. But I was going through my I was going through my mentions or something, comments, and somebody wrote to me, "You are such a hypocrite. Why were you not upset about the Democrats not releasing this information?" You know why I wasn't upset about the Democrats not releasing this information? Because the Democrats did no fuck shit around this information. The Democrats never said, if you vote for me, I'm going to release all this information. You know why the other reason that I was not upset with, what the fuck I'm going to be upset with them for? They gave no promises and no guarantees about doing anything with this information. But my question to the fool who had the nerve to write to me, why are you upset that I am doing the news of the day? That is what I'm here for. I'm not up here to compare this to that. I'm doing the news of the day. Now, who made this the news of the day? This administration made this the news of the day. Pam Bondi talking about she had the files on her desk right now, and they are going to be released. The fake releasing of the files to all these MAGA YouTube influencers and TikTok and Instagram influencers that they were given all of the paperwork. Why are you asking me a goddamn thing? Because what I'm doing is I'm doing this the news. This is the news that they are generating. This is the news. So if you don't understand that, go tell your mama you don't understand that. I'm doing the news. Okay, so they are refusing to sign the discharge petition, and they put out some bogus ass paperwork that has already been released. And today, some victims who have never publicly given their side of the story, they met with the committee on today. And then who comes running out with red face and tears? None other than the stunt queen, Nancy Mace, all in tears, trying to act as if she's so upset behind what she hear these women say that they have gone to. Now, I will give her credit. Nancy Mace did vote with the committee to release these files, but she said that she was upset about something else. And no, I wasn't trying to make it about myself, but I will give her that she voted to release these files. Now, so the women share their stories with the committee. Some of the women never had testified in public, but they had filed a complaint, and then they did a press conference on the steps of I think it was Congress, and they let me share with you some of the things they said. I'll let you hear it in their own words. I'm gonna just show two of them. I'm just going to let you hear from two of them. The link is in my description box. Help yourself to it.
Hi there. My name is Lisa Phillips, and I'm the host of a award-nominated podcast called From Now On, a platform supporting survivors. I want to thank all of my survivor sisters who came before me today. I'll be very short. In the year 2000, I was taken to Jeffrey Epstein's island while on a photo shoot on a nearby island. Who I saw and what I experienced there was a glimpse into a very dark and disturbing world. For years after, I tried to avoid Jeffrey, but he had introduced me to Katie Ford, the owner of the Ford Modeling Agency. Epstein's reach went to the very top of fashion, arts, and entertainment. This did not just happen to underage girls in Florida. In New York City, hundreds of young, ambitious women were abused by him. Epstein was not just a serial predator, he was an international human trafficker. And many around him knew, many participated, and many profited. And yet he was protected. So I stand here today for every woman who has been silenced, exploited, and dismissed. We are not asking for pity. We are here demanding accountability, and I'm demanding justice. Congress must choose. Will you continue to protect predators, or will you finally protect survivors? And also, I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors.
Now, that is a very a good point. While they try to shield the names, our government tried to shield the names of all of the rich and powerful, and I don't care who they are. I don't care what party they are in. They have never faced any retribution behind the things that they have done, and these girls at the time have never received any justice that was done to them. Now, there's two sides to every story. The Me Too movement, all of this stuff. If they've had access to question these women for decades. So, do you hear right now? I want to know right now. Do you hear them coming back, saying any of the charges that are in these files are suspect and are untrue? You don't hear that as of yet. But the people who have the power, the people who were involved, are now talking about giving out the names themselves. And you know who can corroborate that the names that are in this file of the James Comey daughter who tried Ghislaine Maxwell's case. It has had all of the access to these files, and she can corroborate them. The Comey daughter who was fired after successfully trying this case, she can corroborate all of this information if they choose to go that route. So we'll see what happens.
No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
Hello, my name is Shantae Davies, and I'm here before you today as a survivor of decades of pain, trauma, and betrayal at the hands of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and the people who enabled them, and a government that for far too long refused to help. In 2002, I was living in California, a young woman with high aspirations of becoming an actress. I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry.
Oh, God.
Of becoming an actress, I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry.
Hold on. Oh, I got to.
Of becoming an actress, I was already beginning to make a name for myself in the industry.
Hold on. I have to go back to that. I apologize. I forgot I do that at least one time a show. Here we are. Let me reshare this. I apologize.
Abuse began. He told me to keep it secret. He manipulated me with with quid pro quo I did not consent to, but I felt I had no one to turn to. He was too powerful. I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually. And while what I endured will haunt me forever, I live every day with PTSD. I live as a mother trying to raise my child while distrusting a world that has betrayed me. This kind of trauma never leaves you. It breaks families apart. It shapes the way we see everyone around us. But one thing is certain, unless we learn from this history, monsters like Epstein will rise again. There are files, government files, that hold the truth about Epstein, who he knew, who owed him, who protected him, and why he was allowed to operate for so long without consequence. Why was Maxwell the only one held accountable when so many others played a role? Why does the government hide this information from the public?
Why is there a no prosecute why is there no prosecute position set in place for anyone else to be tried? Why? So when what is this? I keep wanting to say Comey. When Acosta comes in, I hope we get to the bottom of it, because it seems like there were several people who could have been prosecuted when he was first arrested, saving a lot of these people who came after his first arrest from being by Epstein. It seems like they didn't want to punish any of these rich and powerful people. They said that some of the girls had come from all over the world, from Europe, from Germany, Russia, all different type styles of life were abused by these rich men.
This secrecy is not protection, it's complicity. And as long as the truth is buried, justice will remain out of reach. That is why this bill matters. Passing it will, bless you, ensure that the suffering of survivors is not in vain. Passing it will bring accountability, transparency, and prevention. It will help protect the next generation of predators who seek to place themselves above the law through wealth, influence, and connections. This is not just my story. It is about every survivor who carries invisible scars. It's about the weight we live with daily. It is about the families broken and the futures stolen. So I ask you, President Trump and members of Congress, why do we continue to cover up sexual abuse and assault? Who are we covering for? Let the public know the truth. We cannot heal without justice. We cannot protect the future if we refuse to confront the past. Thank you.
Okay, so this link is in my description box. I just wanted to share with you a little of what is going on. Now, in response to that, while this was going on, did you know that 4547 ordered a flyover of the area where they had set up their press conference? Does that sound retarded to you? Does that sound like what a flyover for what? A military flyover of this press conference? Was he trying to interrupt it? Was he so bothered about these accusers being out there, the accusers who are in these files. Some of these accusers don't even have their own information from their files. They refuse to give them their own information from these files. And he had a whole flyover over their press event. Also, what else did I want to say about that? I forgot. So I just wanted to give you that. Also, while there was a what do I want to call it? There was a Congress had a hearing on freedom of speech, and if you don't watch these hearings in Congress, you are missing quite a bit. So I'm going to show this one person being questioned about freedom of speech, and it's very interesting, to say the least. This is in my description box as well.
Yields back. The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Frux, thanks for being here, coming across the pond. I'm sorry to hear you're leaving the hearing early.
Well, it's not a question of leaving the hearing early, but I do have other things to do. Yes.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay. Where are you going?
It's not lunch, I promise you.
It's not lunch. You're not going to have lunch.
I don't think so, no.
No lunch.
Sad, isn't
You're
it?
meeting with the president?
I can't remember what the schedule is. It's possible.
You can't remember if you're meeting with the president.
I'm being very polite, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing this afternoon, but I can assure you that...
But this is the free speech hearing. You're not going to tell me what you're doing this afternoon?
Free speech is one thing. Discretion's quite another, too.
Okay. All right, so you're leaving to have lunch with the president. So, Mr. Farage, I have a question. Have you heard about the Epstein thing that's going on here?
I have.
You have? What do you think about it?
I'm not going to give comment on anything happening in America. I'm here as a witness.
Perfect.
I'm here as a witness.
I'm
here as a witness for what is happening in the United Kingdom and in the European.
Perfect. Let me just go through it. So it's been 9 months, right, since we've been meeting in these hearings. We've not had Pam Bondi here, even though we have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice. Not Dan Bondi.
The gentleman yield.
Not Kash Patel. I will 100%. We'll go back and forth. Let me just do my thing.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to correct. Kash Patel's coming in 2. I'll give you an extra 10 seconds. Kash Patel, the director of FBI, is coming in 2 weeks, and the Attorney General's coming in 4 weeks.
Fantastic. But still, we're not doing that.
Kash Patel is coming in 2 weeks, and Bondi is coming in 4 weeks, and these Epstein files were supposed to have been submitted to Congress a week ago. So why did he interrupt to say something about them hiding from this committee?
This week, the week we're having votes on the Epstein thing. So, Pam Bondi gives the influencers, these Republican influencers, a binder. It says Part 1 of the Epstein files. No one of you saw it. It was quite spectacular. The Attorney General then says the Epstein list is on her desk. Then DOJ issues a memo, says there is no list. Then, do you have any questions about any of that? We've had no hearings on any of that at all. That, the list is on my desk, then there is no list. Then we gave binders to Republican influencers. This committee's had no questions on any of how that transpired at the Department of Justice. Then hold on.
Well, it sounds like you're going to in the next few weeks. So that's a jolly good thing.
Mr. Farage, we can talk soon, but not yet. Okay.
Right.
So then the president comes out and says the whole thing's a hoax. He blasts his own base. He blames Barack Obama. I mean, he hasn't been president for a very long time. Republicans then in committee vote against the release in the Rules Committee. Then Republicans refuse to go back in the Rules Committee because they're getting blasted for their vote, getting crushed by their own base. Congress leaves a day early. Then the administration sends the Deputy Attorney General to meet with Maxwell in jail. He happens to be Trump's former personal attorney. She says something favorable about the president. Miraculously, she gets transferred to a minimum security prison. The president starts talking about how he has the right to pardon her if he wanted to. The leaks to the Wall Street Journal then stop. We come back from break. We have the Massey petition. Comer does a document dump where 97% of these documents are already public. How long has he had those documents? Why hasn't he released them for the last 6 weeks? Does it the day of the vote. Then Republicans drop a non-binding resolution trying to kill the Massey discharge petition. The White House said passing the Massey discharge petition is a hostile act. Wow. That's a lot.
Now, after the Massey is Massey and Ro Khanna has the discharge petition that James Comer, well, we don't need to sign that. We already giving away all this stuff. Now you hear that this dump of paperwork that they got last night. How come you didn't give it sooner? How long have you had this? It was due in Comer was one. Well, I've been told by the Department of Justice that they will be sending the first wave by Friday, and it's going to be trickling in. And then so this discharge petition comes up, and then voila. 33,000 pages of the same old bullshit comes in boxes as if they are giving up new information. And you know what the 4547 said, that if they vote on the discharge petition, that it would be, what did he say? It would be, here we go.
I'll act. Wow. Republicans drop a non-binding resolution trying to kill the Massey discharge petition. The White House said passing the Massey discharge petition is a hostile act.
After they did all of that, the White House said that it would be a hostile act. So what they hiding? They want to pretend as if they are giving up information, and to sign this petition would mean each and every Congress person would have to sign this petition, and there will be no more back and forth, and we're getting it together. And I thought it was already all the names were on your desk and all of this shit. There will be no more. There will be no more hiding this. Now, this is what 4547 said. You better not vote on that Massey petition. That's what he was saying. You better not vote on it. Why does he not want them to vote on it? Let's continue.
Wow. That's a lot of distraction and deflection and misinformation. Wait, passing a discharge petition to release the Epstein files, the White House said would be a hostile act. Nope, we have no questions about that. But why? Why is it that we're spending so much political capital to keep this list from coming out? You think the list should come out? You think we should know the people who dealt with Mr. Epstein, Mr. Farage?
I thought I was coming to a hearing on free speech, not process.
Oh, but listen, but here's the good...
It sounds like you're discussing process.
No. Do you think the list should come out?
I have no opinion on it. I don't know at all.
So we have victims that were sexually abused by potentially people in power, and we don't know who's on the list.
I'm very happy.
Hold on, Mr. Farage. We don't know who's on the list. We don't know.
We
don't know who's on the list. We don't know if the president is or is not. I'm not going to say he is or isn't. I'm just going to say these are weird behaviors. We don't know that there aren't other people in Congress that are on the list. Right? We have no idea. Do you think the list should come out? You think people in power should be held to account for these victims who have been sexually abused and assaulted? You think the list should come out?
I think that I'm very happy to come to a different hearing where you talk about legal process.
Okay.
Today,
Will the gentleman yield for a quick...
Now, he's at the freedom of speech hearing, but he can't talk. For some reason, he's tongue-tied.
Question.
On if the list of potential predators who SA'd children should be released. He's tongue-tied.
Are you aware that he has already called for the Epstein file to be released? It has been reported that he has called for it to be released.
Oh yeah, right here, just to refresh your memory.
Yeah, but
I happen to have this.
But that's not
How
what
random.
But that is not. Look, you can ask me if you like about
Do you agree
social
with
security
yourself?
policy.
Do you agree with yourself?
We are here to discuss free speech.
Hold on. It's awkward for your lunch after this? Do you agree with yourself?
No, it isn't at all.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'm just curious. This committee has jurisdiction over the department.
So he can't even agree with him previously saying that the files had been released. Now all of a sudden he can't talk on them, and he holds a piece of paper up where he has already said that these people are disgusting.
Of justice.
Yeah.
Why have we allowed Comer to cover this up for the last couple of months?
As I said,
why is this committee not
I
taking
said 6 weeks
jurisdiction?
ago that we will have the FBI director in, we will have the attorney general in, and we are doing that in 2 weeks. You can ask you can go through that whole list. That whole list, you can do whatever you want.
And let's not forget that this one right here, he I think he was a coach at a Ohio State college where the doctor was essaying the people, the wrestlers and other team members from other teams, and they have come out, and these people who have been molested by the team doctor has come out and said that Jim Jordan knew about it. So he is, has a history of covering up these type of malfeasance. Let's continue.
To do with, I got lots of questions for the FBI director, including the whistleblower who came forward and told him that Adam Schiff leaked classified information.
Now he wants to talk about, he has questions about Adam Schiff leaking classified information per the whistleblower. So you have plenty of questions, but I have a question for you. How can you even sit up here and hold your face and try to deflect from the essaying of children after it has been alleged that you said nothing and held the line as people in I believe it's Ohio State were essayed by the team doctor? How can you hold your head up when you were subpoenaed and you never showed up for the subpoena? You know, what is his name? Navarro. Navarro spent 4 months in jail for not showing up for his subpoena with the January 6th thing. How come you are even re-elected? I'm just telling you, these people in elected office are just disgusting.
I want to ask him about that as well as the issues you all want to ask him about. That's why he's coming, so we can ask all these questions and follow the process.
So you have no questions about any of this Epstein shit. You have something, you know, I have questions about, what's his name? I have questions about Adam Schiff. You don't have, you can't think of no question about this Epstein stuff, though. And, you know, you guys can ask him about the stuff y'all want to ask him about. He is not curious about anything regarding Epstein. Let's continue.
Mr. Farage just talked about.
Mr.
The
Chairman,
gentleman from Virginia.
Unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent?
I'd like to enter the political article.
Okay, so, hold on.
Into the record that Mr. Farage said the Epstein file should be released.
Without objection. The gentleman.
Okay, so he submitted the political article that the Epstein files could be released, but he sitting there, he was totally tongue-tied. Hey, Candy Cane, I think some of them are stealing votes. They are incompetent and inconsistent. Well acquainted with being complicit. Yes, he is well acquainted with it. Yes, he is absolutely well acquainted with it. Now, let me share with you one more questioning in this hearing that went on today. Quite interesting. I kind of love these hearings. If you guys are not watching these hearings, treat yourself.
Farage has his own show. Just Keir Starmer has not shut down GB News, where Mr. Farage has his own show, just because Mr. Farage has used his airtime to call for banning peaceful protests that he disagrees with. No one has stopped him from going on Russian TV.
Now, this is the same guy who is at the free speech hearing, and he's let's hear what he actually thinks about free speech.
TV 17 times and saying also and repeating that the one world Keir Starmer has not shut down GB News, where Mr. Farage has his own show, just because Mr. Farage has used his airtime to call for banning peaceful protests that he disagrees with. No one has stopped him from going on Russian TV 17 times and saying also and repeating that the one world political leader he most admired was Vladimir Putin, even though Vladimir Putin is a war criminal and a dictator. This hearing's just a drive-by hit against a strong Democratic ally to benefit a Donald Trump sycophant and wannabe. Thank you kindly, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to our witnesses. I imagine that in a hearing about threats to freedom of speech abroad, we might hear from a Russian dissident about Putin's massive violations of political freedom, or the death of Alexei Navalny in prison, or perhaps a Chinese pro-democracy activist about President Xi's attacks on free speech in Hong Kong, Tibet, Xinjiang, or the persecution trial of Jimmy Lai, or maybe a journalist about the Saudi Crown Prince's assassination of Jamal Khashoggi, the Washington Post writer who demanded freedom from religious persecution and oppression in Saudi Arabia. But no, the dictators of the world have got nothing to fear from this hearing. The Republicans called it to attack our democratic allies in Europe. The star witness is not a human rights leader like Navalny, but a far-right, pro-Putin politician who leads the UK Reform Party, a party that has 4 members out of 650 members in the parliament. He calls England an authoritarian regime, while saying that Vladimir Putin is the world leader he admires the most. Well, this hearing mimics Vice President J.D. Vance, who went to the Munich Security Conference in February. In the first 2 minutes of his speech, whitewashed the world's leading autocratic regimes, proclaiming that the threat that worries him is not Russia. It's not China, he said, but rather it's our European allies. Amazing. Republicans are promoting far-right parties in Europe, like Alternative for Deutschland, Reform UK, and Rassemblement National Français, and ignoring massive repression in Russia, China, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and among all the autocrats of the world. Republicans are vilifying European liberal democracies simply for engaging in the kind of line-drawing exercises that we Americans engage in under our First Amendment with respect to the epidemic of child pornography, protecting children from other harmful content, defamatory speech, online scams and false advertising, and speech inciting riots and imminent lawless action. All forms of speech that the First Amendment does not protect and whose tricky contours must still be drawn by law. We could have a meaningful hearing on this complicated subject, but this hearing's just a drive-by hit against a strong Democratic ally to benefit a Donald Trump sycophant and wannabe. But it's even worse than this. Not only are our colleagues ignoring intensifying repression in the world's dictatorships, they're also trying to distract the world from the attack on freedom taking place right here in America every single day. Americans aren't worried about the EU or the Online Safety Act in the UK. We're not worried about white nationalists not having enough license to incite lynch mobs to set immigrants on fire in their bedrooms. Americans are worried that Donald Trump is working to rewrite and whitewash American history in our museums, our textbooks, and our national parks, to destroy PBS, NPR, and public broadcasting, to ban books in our libraries, and to censor any news stories critical of him by installing political henchmen in private broadcast rooms. Americans know that academic freedom is in danger when the administration cancels and withholds billions of dollars in scientific and medical research funding.
FCC to appoint a babysitter to make sure CBS isn't anti-Trump. Now, if you didn't know, they actually have appointed someone to oversee 60 Minutes to make sure that they don't do anti-Trump stories. Now, this is what is going on in your American media. A babysitter. Under Trump, Paramount's merger deal must include a bias monitor. Did you know that? If you learn something new,
funding from American universities, even
That's what I'm
for
here
urgent
for.
life-saving studies about breast cancer or heart attacks, as a way to force schools to impose.
Trump's want universities show him the money or no deal. Trump threatens students' university if they engage in protests. We've already seen that.
Government orthodoxy on curriculum, hiring, admissions, and any student and faculty speech that MAGA considers politically incorrect. Americans see Trump trying to harass, intimidate, control, and shut down the press like ABC, CBS, NBC, NPR, and PBS. The Republican-controlled FCC essentially blackmailed media companies Skydance and Paramount into agreeing to install a spy, a monitor.
Now, okay, so if you didn't know of that, this is why I'm bringing you this hearing, because I don't hear that being talked about on this for-profit media. So sometimes you have to understand, where all the information is coming from. They're not telling on themselves. They're sitting up here acting as if they are giving you the news of the day. Yeah, it's the what do they call it? The state sponsored news. This is what you're getting. Okay, now, if you want to complain about this, if you want to take somebody to court about this, how would that fare when they're doing the same things to major law offices? Let's see.
Reminder, I think the Brits might say, to police CBS News programs to make sure that they are being sufficiently Trumpy in giving us the news in order to get approval of a merger from FCC. Meanwhile, Trump sued 60 Minutes and CBS personally for $20 billion for the frivolous cause of action that he thought an interview with Kamala Harris was edited too favorably, and then walked away with a cool $16 million in a shakedown settlement for his library, all part of a now familiar pattern. When Trump doesn't like the news, he sues the broadcaster and unleashes the FCC on them until they pay up and agree to a government spy stationed in their office. Free speech is so much in danger in the US today that if the government tries to violate our rights, we might not even be able to find a lawyer to defend ourselves because Trump is systematically exacting retribution against law firms that represent anyone on the other side of a case against him. Look, our country loves free speech. We fight for free speech. We fought for free speech, and we know it's in danger when students who are lawfully in the United States are taken off the street and arrested without warrants by masked federal agents in unmarked cars.
Okay, now let's talk about that. I went into detail about the two students, one from Columbia and one from Tufts. The one from Columbia missed his first child being born because he was locked up in Louisiana somewhere because of his pro-Palestine protests. Not a pro-Hamas protest, pro-Palestine protests. And you're going to have to understand why that is important because America is financing all of the things that is going on in Palestine today. And to what end? We're going to find out to what end after this. Okay, so also the tough students. Now, they have had to be released these detentions were ruled they they were ruled illegal detentions, and these people had to be released. Now, I haven't heard much about these people. 4547 said that he was still going to try to deport. They took the male. He was a green card holder. They snatched his green card. I'm not sure about the woman who went to Tough. He has since graduated. I believe he graduated with a PhD, and I'm not sure. I think she was a graduate student as well. She just wrote and she said nothing about Hamas or anything. She wrote an op-ed paper. She was a co-author of an op-ed paper, and she was snatched off the street in a illegal detainment. Now, if you are okay with your government operating in this way, if you think that this government will not do the same thing to you on trumped up charges, now a judge has already ruled that that LA has won their case that they have brought up against 4547 for putting the National Guard in their city. If you do not know, now you know. They said in their ruling, was that the 2-1 in that ruling? He said that he was trying to 4547 was via ICE trying to create a national police force with 4547 as the chief of police. That is in his ruling, and also regarding the detention of all of those people who were shipped to El Salvador under the misuse of the Aliens Enemies Act. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, in a 2-1 decision, that stated that this administration was blatantly misusing the Aliens Enemy Act, and so those all of those detainees and people who were deported were illegally deported. This is what I'm telling you. Now, how long? And allegedly, the makeup artist was had peen pushed in his ass several times while he was being detained. So this is what your administration illegally are doing to people. They while not giving them a right to appeal, him calling them gang members and all of this. In the meantime, at the same time, he is dropping charges on people in America that they say that are actually gang members and this, that, and the other. So I want to know, do they ever have any proof about these alleged gang members? They are holding the hand of Bukele, the president of El Salvador, and making deals to actually cut loose the alleged real gang members that Bukele have a interest in, allegedly. So then they just grab up a swath of people on the street and proclaim to you that these are the worst of the worst gang members. So this link is in my description box. Hey Madison, hey Sandy. Yeah, that is what. Let me see a little bit more.
for writing an article or attending a rally that Stephen Miller doesn't like. Free speech is in danger when visitors to our country have their social media accounts screened at the border for any criticism of Donald Trump. Free speech is in danger when To Kill a Mockingbird.
Not only Donald Trump, don't forget Fat Face Vance. The guy, I think he came over from Finland, and they turned him right around, would not let him in the country because he had some of those AI generated baby pictures of JD prance around with eyeliner. Y'all remember that? Okay. Didn't let him in the country.
The Handmaid's Tale, 1984, and The Kite Runner are banned from our schools and libraries across the country, and even families defending our freedom abroad have to fight for their kids' right to read freely in public schools run by the Department of Defense. Freedom's in danger when the administration tramples the civil service rights of hundreds of thousands of nonpartisan expert civil servants. These civil servants have been protected against political discrimination for more than a century to maintain the excellence and independence of our federal workforce, but they're now being fired simply for doing their jobs, like prosecuting violent criminals and insurrectionists who try to overthrow our government and attack our police officers, or because they honestly gave honest economic information and labor statistics to these honorable civil servants are being fired because they won't be the political hacks Trump demands that they be. When private comments made by federal employees are scrutinized for anti-Trump bias and they can lose their jobs because of it, then we've entered the realm not just...
Okay. So, let me read this. Fortune magazine wrote, Musk Doge reportedly deploys AI to monitor federal workers for anti-Trump sentiment. The willingness to skirt laws is brazen. Is that a law that their sentiments must in line with the administration? I don't understand. The willingness to skirt laws is brazen. What law is that? Elon Musk Doge using AI to spy on U.S. federal workers, insiders claim. So let's continue.
Of Vladimir Putin, but of Joseph Stalin. Now, Mr. Trump and Mr. Farage both claim they're protectors of free speech, but they only want to protect speech they agree with. In the UK, Mr. Farage is openly promoting the abolition of the Human Rights Act of 1998 to be replaced with a British Bill of Rights that limits the right of free speech to British citizens and legally sanctioned residents. He complains that racist threats against immigrants are not protected free speech, while he proposes to strip migrants, tourists, and perhaps even visiting American congresspeople of any free speech rights at all. I had my own close encounter with that when Mr. Farage and his team presented for more than an hour in a conversation we had about free speech. And after 3 minutes of talking, he cut me off and terminated the meeting because he didn't like what I was saying. That's the kind of free speech he's committed to. There is a free speech crisis in America today, but there's no free speech crisis in Britain. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has not shut down GB News, where Mr. Farage has his own show, just because Mr. Farage has used his airtime to call for banning peaceful protests that he disagrees with. No one has stopped him from going on Russian TV 17 times and saying also and repeating that the one world political leader he most admired was Vladimir Putin, even though Vladimir Putin is a war criminal and a dictator who has regularly interfered in other countries' democratic elections. No one has stopped Mr. Farage from parroting Putin's absurd talking points, like when Farage claimed that NATO, the US and Britain, provoked this war in Ukraine. For a man who fashions himself as some kind of a free speech martyr, Mr. Farage seems most at home with the autocrats and dictators of the world who are crushing freedom on earth. Mr. Farage wants to get rid of the Online Safety Act in his country, a law shepherded by the Conservative Party and implemented by the Labor Party, which bans child pornography online, protects children from harmful content, forbids non-consensual pornography and other unlawful content. He should go and advance the positions he's taking here in Congress today in Parliament, which is meeting today. if he's serious about it. To the people of UK who think this Putin-loving free speech imposter and Trump sycophant will protect freedom in your country, come on over to America and see what Trump and MAGA are doing to destroy our freedom, kidnap college students off the street, ban books from our libraries, militarize our police and unleash them against our communities, take over our universities, wreck our professional civil service, and turn the government into a money-making machine for Trump and his family. You might think twice before you let Mr. Farage make Britain great again.
Now, I'm sure Mr. Farage had absolutely nothing to say because he was giving no room to say anything. So now 45-47 thought that he could pull the tension away from the Epstein people, victims who were giving a press conference by having his own press conference. He was in the Oval Office with the president of Poland today. And if you didn't see that bullshit, let me show you this bullshit. Of the questions, he was given several questions, and it was a mess. It was a true mess. So let me share that with you. I'm gonna go to the question and answer portion of this, and let's see what he's talking about.
Solidarity. You said that they're conspiring against the United States. What do you think they're conspiring to do? And given this, is it reason why you should slap or would consider slapping secondary sanctions on Russia if they're conspiring against the U.S. now?
Well, I've already done that with regard to India, and we're doing it with regard.
Well, I already done that with regards to India, but he asked you specifically about Russia. You know, the 2 weeks that you have given him to come to the table and have this three-part trilateral summit, he quickly said the next day that there is no such summit that they will be having. And you gave him 2 weeks to do something. I don't know, you were really mealy mouth and uncommental about what you wanted him to do. You wanted the war to stop. You just wanted the war to stop. No conditions, no anything. And now when you're asked about your tweet, that you hope that they are having fun conspiring against not the Americans, against you as a singular person, against Donald J. Trump. Now you're asked a question and you answer. You're asked a question about Russia, but you answer about the secondary sanctions that you put on India because you were mad that they were purchasing oil from Russia. So you mad at India, who is not our ally or partner in any way for buying cheap oil from somebody who is in a trading situation, the BRICS with them. That is why India and Russia are the I and the R in BRICS, because they are trading partners. But you have so much to say about India, but what do you have to say about Russia? Are you putting secondary sanctions on them? Let's hear this again.
Have been together in this sort of show of solidarity. You said that they're conspiring against the United States. What do you think they're conspiring to do? And given this, is it reason why you should slap or would consider slapping secondary sanctions on Russia if they're conspiring against the U.S. now?
Well, I've already done that with regard to India, and we're doing it with regard to other things. And I put out a truth last night. You saw that. And I was the one that brought it up. I said, they're only doing this. They're looking to, when they did what they did, I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next.
We're thinking about doing, and we're doing it on other things. What are these other things? You specifically said that you put secondary sanctions on India. But he asked you about Russia. We did it and we put it on India, and we're thinking about doing it on other things. And now all of a sudden to transition to how well you get along with these people. And they were hoping you were watching. Of course you are watching. You are a troll and you are hate watching. Of course you were watching. But you have absolutely nothing to say. Do you understand why all of those world leaders were laughing? Because he's a joke. Let's continue.
Next week or two.
The next week or two. 2 weeks.
We helped China very much.
2 weeks. The next week or two, you will be finding out. The next week or two, we will be in so much bullshit that I hope you forget that I have done absolutely nothing but sit there and cried in my cankle-ridden shoes about how I'm getting played.
Much, as you know, when they talk about freedom. And I don't believe that, and maybe I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe that America, that the United States was acknowledged for helping China to get to gain its freedom.
Did you even say thank you? Did you even say thank you? They're celebrating China. They're not celebrating the United States. You don't think you got the proper thanks? Why would you get any thanks? We see when you are in the position to help an ally, what you would do. You would let a drunk Seth take away all of their equipment where they get to their what was it? The equipment where they can figure out what is going on in Russia to help themselves in the war. And you would let Hexef take it away and then pretend like, oh, you didn't know it was taken away and you are going to re-implement that. What are you going to do? You're going to make sure that you get paid for all the stuff that you, all the equipment and all of the bombs. You're going to make sure that Europe pays for them, which is a good thing. But are you doing the same thing with all of the fucking money that we're spending over in Gaza? Are they paying for anything? Because these people in Gaza have a universal health care, unlike the people in America. These people in Gaza are living far better than American citizens. But are you making sure that they pay for anything? And now we understand that the totality of this Gaza war is to take over Palestine entirely. And you are going to build up something in the next over the next 10 years where no Gazans, no Palestinians are going to be allowed to. It's not going to be a place for the Palestinians. So what is the United States, who is financing all of this with our tax dollar, getting out of this? Since you want to make it a point that the European Union are going to have to pay for any munitions that we send over to the Ukraine. Tell me that. Okay, let's go to the next question. He can't answer.
Perhaps that was just that was a sleight of hand. I mean, I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi's a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States...
He was a friend of mine. I did all I could. You lied, cheated, had a parade with Putin. You were a friend of mine. Doesn't he sound dejected about his friend?
States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China very, very much.
What was the reason?
They should have been invited.
What was the reason?
Mr. President, do you think they should have been invited?
Go ahead.
You've expressed many times your frustration and disappointment with Putin, but there's no action since you took your...
You've expressed your dissatisfaction with Putin many times, but there is no action.
How do you know there's no? How do you know there's no?
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know there was no action? Because we know that there is no action because any action that you take, you have to take full credit for anything. We know that there's no action because there has been no action reported. And even when you do military action, you have a numbskull over the Defense Department that puts out the information and add a reporter to it on a unsecured app. That's how we know.
Really? Wait. Who are you with?
I'm with the police radio.
Okay. How do you know there's no action? Would you say that putting secondary sanctions on India, the largest purchaser outside of China, they're almost equal. Would you say there was no action? That cost.
That didn't cost. How did that cost Russia anything? That ensured that India would continue to get all their oil from Russia. How is you putting section? He's asking you about the disappointment you have in Putin, but you never do anything. So you come back with I put secondary sanctions on India, their trade partner. So how you say I didn't do anything? How did you say I didn't do anything? You help enrich Russia. That's what you did. You help guarantee that Russia is getting paid. That's what you did.
Hundreds of billions of dollars to Russia. You call that no action? And I haven't done phase 2 yet or phase 3. But when you say there's no action, I think you ought to get yourself a new job. Because if you remember, 2 weeks ago I said, if India buys, India's got big problems, and that's what happened. So don't tell me about that. Go ahead.
Mr. President,
This is an idiot. If this is your job, you better do something. Because I did absolutely nothing but strike out at the wrong people. I just can't believe this. Are you guys?
Mr. President, right now there have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on the release of those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release.
Thomas Massey says he doesn't know that if you are in the Epstein files, but maybe some of your friends and donors are, and that is why you are slow walking getting out these files. Good question.
Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is
the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir? Just in case you can't hear the press. I don't understand how the press have microphones and they are so low.
A Democrat hoax that never ends. You know.
So we're back to this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. This is a Democrat hoax that never ends.
Files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied.
I remember one dump of the Kennedy files. I don't recall any outcry for anything more on the Kennedy or the Dr. King stuff. He put out the Dr. King's stuff against the will of King's own family. But I don't remember them putting more and more and more out about JFK, and people have never been satisfied. So this is who's in office saying shit that is so easily disproven. Oh my God.
From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's
So which one is it? Thousands of pages of documents have been given on a hoax. If it's a hoax, there are no thousands of pages of documents to give about something that is a hoax.
Totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president. Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C., it's a totally safe zone. It's called a safe zone.
There was a reported murder in D.C. on Monday night. Okay, let's continue.
It's a term. It's a term of art. It's a safe zone because it's very safe. You can walk down the street now and nothing's going to happen. No crime, no murders, no nothing. Because we had a lot of problems with certain places, and we still do. All run by Democrats, or for the most part, run by Democrats. So what they're trying to do is
all run by Democrats. Now, there is a breaking story that 4547 is planning to use the National Guard in Chicago, as you all know. But they are not using Chicago's own National Guard because the governor of Illinois doesn't even want the National Guard to be dispersed on the streets of Illinois. They're using the Texas National Guard. So why is it that he is always reaching for the southern states to go into black communities, black cities, run by black mayors or black governors? Have you noticed that? If you don't know, now you know. Let's see what else he said.
the Epstein hoax is get people to talk about that instead of speaking about the tremendous success like
maybe you are trying to talk about crime, a whole criminal who has released tons of criminals, even people who have committed murder back on the United States streets. Maybe you're talking about crime so much is to deflect from Epstein. How about that? To the point you are willing to act like if it's so bad that we need the National Guards on our street. How about that? Is that what's happening?
ending 7 wars. I ended 7 wars. Nobody's going to talk about because they're going
to. Nobody's going to talk about it because you did not end 7 wars. You always want to what is that? Who was that? India and Pakistan, and both India and Pakistan said that they had no talks with you when they stopped striking each other. It was nothing to do with you, but you still want to say that you ended their war. Okay, let's continue.
Talk about the Epstein, whatever. Sir, I understand that we were subpoenaed to give files, and I understand we've given thousands of pages of files. And I know that no matter what.
Of things that have already previously been released prior to any thing that you have released. You have released things that have already been on the public stage. Let's be clear.
What you do, it's going to keep going. And I think it's enough, because I think we should talk about the greatness of our country and the success that we're having.
You think it's enough? They're not going to be satisfied until we'll satisfy them. Release them all. What do you mean it's never enough? It's enough when it's all of them. That's when it's enough. When you release all of them. You were the one who told your constituents on the campaign trail that was what you were going to do. And it's not the Democrats who have this in the news. It is you and your MAGA supporters who, when they kept saying, hey, we want the rest of the files, you said that you didn't need their support anymore. So it's not the Democrats doing a goddamn thing. It's MAGA. And since MAGA wanted, give MAGA what they want. You ain't never planned on giving MAGA what they want. All you wanted is for MAGA to put you back in office, so you can be the same criminal that you have always been. Now let's get down. This link is in my description box. There is something peculiar that I did not know of until this press conference.
Everybody, I mean, they want a transgender for all of the crazy things that they were saying, and people, they feel totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a totally safe coming in with the troops. We saved Los Angeles, and we didn't go in. If we didn't go into Los Angeles with our soldiers, with our National Guard, you wouldn't even be having the Olympics there. They were going to take it. And remember this, your top law enforcement officer in Los Angeles said, there's no way we could have done this without President Trump coming in with the troops. We saved Los Angeles and we saved the Olympics. Thank you very much.
Bullshit very much.
I got this, sir. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Mr. President, in regards to Gavin Newsom, would you be open to a congressional investigation in regards to the specific Palisades fire where it killed 12 seniors to see if there's any negligence on Gavin Newsom or Karen Bass in regards to those deaths?
Well, I tell you, there's negligence.
Oh, so here is the dog whistle. What about an investigation that killed 12 seniors in Pacific Palisades? What? I tell you, it wasn't for me. If it wasn't for me, you know, all the water, it would have been going in the pipes, and they cut off the water, and I went on and I had the National Guard turn on the power, the water, and the water just flowed. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's the answer to that bullshit question. Now, are we supposed to be investigating Gavin Newsom?
If I didn't win this election, I think our country would be destroyed. I don't believe you'd be here right now. But he stopped the water from coming in. And I had to send in the military to have that water opened after the fires. And now they have...
Well, what good was it? Okay, so if that was the solution, you sent them in after the fires. That was not the solution, huh? Okay, let's continue.
But he should have more because they've restricted. They still restricted. There's something wrong with these people. There's something really wrong. As to investigation, I view it as a gross injustice.
Now, if you don't remember, I did a story prior to the election about this husband and wife who owns in central or northern central California, who owns the water rights to a vast amount of water, and they share it with I believe Sacramento and San Francisco. And when San Francisco go over on their water usage, they have to buy it from this husband and wife. Now, how this husband and wife gained all the water rights, the same way that Elon Musk and all of these big tech companies wanted to plug their tech water bills into the public's water bills. They did it under secrecy, and now this is the family that makes, I forget what brand it is, pistachios, the main brand of pistachios. It's not Kind. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can get the brand of this pistachio, because they sell this brand everywhere. Okay, so they secretly made a deal and was awarded all the water rights to the point that cities have to buy water from them. So is that where you turned on the water spigot? We're not talking about this billionaire couple. Are we not talking about them? We're not talking about them. Okay. So let's continue.
I view it as an ideology that's wrong. It's a radical left ideology. And if I didn't win this election, I think our country would be destroyed. I don't believe you'd be here right now, and our country would be destroyed. Yeah.
Okay, the country is being destroyed because you are here. Now, there has been a ruling on his tariffs. A third of the tariffs have been ruled to be illegal, and his response to the judge's ruling is that it's some leftist judge that made that ruling, and if they don't allow the tariff to continue, the United States will be like a third world country. This is what 4547 said in a scare tactic to make everybody have to spend more money that they are going to put in some sovereign wealth building, sovereign wealth creation, and who is going to get the wealth? All of this wealth is coming from the United States people who have to pay for goods and services. That's who, and they're talking about a sovereign wealth fund at the same time that they're talking about putting crypto in the treasury to prop up the treasury. But you know, the crypto that you are not allowed to buy because there is, you know, there's a little jink in the chain and stuff, and we haven't figured that out, how to allow the commoner to buy it. But if you have a billionaire friend who you can come in with it under them. Okay, so I explained all of that yesterday. So let me get to the boat. Let's talk about this boat.
No, I think I'm a brave guy, but there's no reason to be stupid. They have crime that's at levels that nobody's ever seen before in Baltimore. They've done a terrible job. We'd go into Baltimore, straighten it out very quickly, too. You know why? They respect our soldiers. You see our soldiers. They respect what they're doing. Love to do it. I love the White House paid more than they were supposed to, which was a very nice thing. Yeah.
You were not invited to the parade in Beijing.
Never even thought about it until just now.
President Kavanaugh, what's your message for President?
Never even thought. It wouldn't have been my place to be there.
On tariffs? Will you visit a restaurant in D.C.? You haven't gone to...
I might, sure.
You haven't gone to one in either of your terms that wasn't...
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I and many other...
Do you want me to prove you wrong? Do you want me to prove you wrong?
Yes, please.
But I will, I think it's something we could consider doing. Love to do it. I love the White House food, but after a while I can see going to a nice restaurant. It's safe.
Wait a minute, we're waiting on you to prove him wrong that you haven't been to these cities.
If you would have said, like the Governor Moore wanted me to go and walk through Baltimore with him, and I said, you know, I think I'm a brave guy, but there's no reason to be stupid. They have crime that's at levels that nobody's ever seen before in Baltimore. They've done a terrible job. We'd go into Baltimore, straighten it out very quickly, too. You know why? They respect our soldiers. You see our soldiers. They respect our soldiers. We'd go.
Why couldn't you go into Baltimore right now? It's not like wherever you go, you don't have a Secret Service detail there before, during, and after you being there. So what does bravery and anything about Baltimore have to do with you going to Baltimore and walking with Baltimore? Oh, it's too dangerous for you and your pre-Secret Service detail and your your on-the-ground Secret Service detail. Get the fuck out of my face.
Go there too, but we're going to have people asking us to go. They're going to want to, and I think the people of those places the politicians are not in tune with the people. The people in Chicago, the people in Baltimore, the people in all of the places we talk about, they want to see us there, and I think we're pretty much waiting till we get asked, and properly, because we're doing them a big service.
Oh, so now he's changed his position. He's waiting till he get asked to go to these places.
Yeah,
you talked about how historic these tariffs have been, bringing in revenue, additional revenue for our country. You've also mentioned before they could possibly replace federal income tax.
Possible.
Do you think that's...
Someday it's possible. It used to be. So if you go back to 1913 is when they ended tariffs. We were the richest ever from 1850. It was all tariffs. We didn't have income taxes. From 1850 to 1913. In the 1887s, about 1887, they had the Great National Tariff Act. And it was a group of people that got together because our country was so rich, they didn't know what to do with the money. We had so much money, they didn't know what to do. It was a group of very prominent people that were set up to hand out money to everybody because we were the richest we ever were. Proportionately, we were in 1887, around that time, even in 1913. We ended them in 1913. How did that work out? And then we went to the income tax system, and then we had the Depression. And by the way, a lot of people try and say that, oh, tariffs with the Depression. No, they ended in 1913, and then we went to income tax, and then in 1929 you had the Depression. They did try and bring it back in 1931, 32, but the to our country. And just so you know, other countries use them on us, but I just used them a lot better. We're in a much better position. We have trillions. If we don't win that case, our country is going to suffer so greatly. We'll be unbelievably poor again. If we don't win that case, tariffs, we would be a very poor nation, and we would be taken advantage.
Why would we be suddenly a very poor nation if we didn't have the tariffs? When 45-47 took office, we were doing fine, even after all of the damage that the pandemic did to this nation. The United States economy fared better than any economy in the world. But he's not going to talk about Biden and that. But now all of a sudden, if we don't have tariffs, we are going to be like a third world nation. This is an imbecile.
European Union, where they're paying us almost.
I'm trying to get to the vote.
Vladimir Putin a 2-week deadline to agree to talks with Volodymyr Zelensky. That deadline is now nearly approached. Can you give us any indication when you will make a decision?
Well, I'm having a conversation with him very shortly, and I'll know pretty much what we're going to be doing. We've taken very strong action, as you know.
No, we don't.
And in other ways, we have stopped the money we send.
Oh my God!
Conflict,
please tell me this.
And it's just going on and on. And President Putin, I thought that.
Oh my God!
We saw pilot, and it was a big setback. The people of Poland are very, very sad. So he's a legend in Poland. You might. Those relations.
Oh my God! Of course. I went through all of that. I just
that'll be very exciting.
To let you guys hear some of the bullshit. I wanted something specifically. I don't.
If you're conspiring against the U.S. now.
Well, I've already done that with regard to India.
Okay. Let me find what I'm looking for. Hey, CEO Boss Lady. Hey, Sincere. I'm gonna drop the link. I always forget to drop the link. You don't have to come up, but it is available if you have anything that you want to talk about. I want to talk about all of those warships in the water in the Caribbean Ocean, and all this build up to have some type of conflict with Nicaragua, and we are to believe that it is about the drug cartels, and we see that he absolutely gives zero shits about drug cartels because he is one of the biggest aider and abettors of these drug cartels. So what I want to find is okay. Here's what we want to get to right here. I want to talk about this boat that allegedly had 11 Trendy Alagra or whatever gang on them that was struck by the United States military. Here we are. uh, let me share this with you.
President Trump has released this video saying it shows the U.S. military attacking a speedboat in the Caribbean suspected of drug smuggling. He says the strike in international waters killed 11 people tied to the Tren de Aragua gang, which Trump claims operates under Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela.
The attack coming days after the U.S. sent 8 Navy ships to the region to combat threats from drug cartels. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, heading to Mexico and Ecuador to focus on immigration and crime, was asked whether more attacks like this are expected.
No one should be surprised. That's why they're there on a counter-drug mission, and they're going to continue to operate. As far as specifics and future operations, I have to refer you to the Pentagon on that.
Observers saying the move could be an attempt to undermine Maduro's regime, hurting profits from the drug trade. Maduro has threatened to respond to any military action with an armed fight. Meanwhile, back in the U.S.,
if the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it.
The president's immigration and crime crackdown now focusing on Chicago. Trump vowing to send in the National Guard, saying the feds are going in.
Now, we're going.
Okay, now let me share another story about the striking of this boat. It's right here.
From Venezuela. You've likely seen President Trump says the U.S. bombed a boat allegedly carrying illegal drugs from Venezuela. You've likely seen this video on your social media feeds today. 11 are dead in the first known operation since the Trump administration's recent deployment of the warships to the Southern Caribbean. Here's a closer look of the video of that strike. Watch this. The boat's moving on the water, and then boom, it's a direct hit. President Trump posted that to social media. He described the boat as a drug vessel. He also warned other countries against trying to bring drugs into the United States. Now, CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie Daggett live for us in Washington. Charlie, what assurances do we have and what proof do we have that this was actually a Venezuelan drug boat?
It's a good question. You know, we're waiting for those answers. We don't have what drugs were on that ship or on that boat. I know that the statement was 11 individuals were killed. Not exactly sure about the direction. There are even questions about the legality of the strike in terms of rules of engagement and in extrajudicial killings. The Venezuelans haven't put up any hard evidence of their claim that it was AI, aside from saying that they ran a screenshot by Google's Gemini chatbot that concluded that the video may have been AI generated. So there have been other AI detectors that we use at CBS and other publications and broadcasts use. And they say the length of those images, the fact there are several different angles, which I think you just showed of the strike, they match frame or frame match. They suggest that they would have been difficult, not impossible, to create, as we all know how far artificial intelligence has come. But Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth dismissed those claims today in an interview with Fox and Friends, and here's what he had to say.
That was definitely not artificial intelligence. I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. And that was Tren de Aragua, a narco-terrorist organization designated by the United States, trying to poison our country with illicit drugs.
Are we gonna forget that this is the same administration that bought over 17 family members from a known cartel from Mexico and said that they will not be taking any questions about it? But let's continue.
And as I said, the legalities of what they're looking into now, the rules of engagement, what we're looking into now, rules of engagement, whether use of force amounts to extrajudicial arbitrary killing. Pete Hegseth went further today because there's also questions as to what's the concept of this mission, whether it is drug interdiction or if they're looking for a sort of regime change. And he said, we put the weapons and the pieces in place, and that is a White House decision.
Venezuela, can you give us a sense of what the U.S. policy or what you're trying to achieve with the aircraft carriers, or the boats, I should say, in near Venezuela, and also the boat that you mentioned yesterday where 11 people were killed? What was found on that boat, and why were the men killed instead of taken into
On the boat, you had massive amounts of drugs. We have tapes of them speaking. It was massive amounts of drugs coming into our country to kill a lot of people. And everybody fully understands that. In fact, you see it. You see the bags of drugs all over the...
Where are the tapes of these people speaking that you have? Let's continue.
The boat, and they were hit. Obviously, they won't be doing it again. And I think a lot of other people won't be doing it again when they watch that tape. They're going to say, let's not do this. We have to protect our country, and we're going to. Venezuela's been a very bad actor. They've been, as you know, they've been sending millions of people into our country, many of them Tren de Aragua, some of the worst gangs, some of the worst people anywhere in the world in terms of gangs. And we had some in Washington, D.C. We took care of them very quickly, but they're out of here. They've gone. But Venezuela's been very bad, both in terms of drugs and sending some of the worst.
Wait a minute, you bombed them too? Did you bomb them who were in D.C. that are now gone? All the drugs? I didn't know. All the drugs are gone from D.C.
Worst criminals anywhere in the world into our country. They emptied out, you don't know this, but they emptied out their prisons in Venezuela, and they emptied them out into the United States of America. And that's
kind of like how you emptied out your own jails for these Tren de Alagra or whatever the fuck, and MS-13 prisoners to Bukele's fancy to have them be able to go back to Venezuela. Did they empty them out like the United States emptied out theirs? I'm just asking for a friend.
part of the problem we have. We're getting them out. We're getting them out rapidly, but it's caused a tremendous problem. And Pete and all of the people that are working very hard to rectify the stupidity of the Biden administration, allowing these people to pour into our country with open borders.
Like you allowed the family members of El Chapo to come into our country, kind of like that. Now we don't have to suspect where these people come from. These workers that you say that are from the insane asylums who have been here 20 and 30 years, who are being deported under the these people came under the Biden administration because so few of them have any criminal record. But your stance were you're getting rid of all of these people that came in under Biden who were came from mental institutions and all of this, and these people have decades of being here. Now I'm not for illegal immigration, but are we going to call a thing here? This is bullshit that this man is talking.
Borders. We are paying a big price as a country for the incompetence of the Biden administration. But think of it, opened up prisons, drug dealers, drug lords, everything coming out of Venezuela. They said, and we said, we're not going to put up with it anymore. So Venezuela has been one of the worst actors in the whole group, and we have a group of pretty bad actors.
Let's bring in CBS News.
Venezuela also has a lot of gas. Caroline Levitt sat up there and said that the Venezuelan president is a illegitimate president. So are we about to try to topple Venezuela? Is that why we have 8 warships out there and a nuclear submarine in the waters near Venezuela? Is that why? It will not be the first time that the United States have been in on a coup to topple a government for oil. Let's continue.
chief White House correspondent, Nancy Cordes. And Nancy, thanks for being with us today. The
Okay.
president.
This link is in my description box because the reason why I brought that up. Hey, Liz, and the propaganda continues. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I also I brought this up is about the legality of now. This is a man who doesn't start any wars, but he has designated Nicaragua as someone who he's going to use war tactics on. Are we clear on that? And let's see if that is even legal, what he did. Okay, let me I have to increase this. Hold on one second. Okay. The BBC, U.S. strike on Venezuela drug boat. What do we know, and was it legal? Okay, so we got to go across the pond to get anybody to report on this in any way, questioning if this is even legal. A strike carried out by U.S. forces on a boat in the Caribbean Sea, which the White House says killed 11 drug traffickers, may have violated international human rights and maritime law. Legal experts have told the BBC Verify. President 4547 announced on Tuesday that U.S. forces destroyed a vessel which he said had departed from Venezuela. He said that the boat was operated by a trendy Aragua cartel and was carrying drugs bound for the U.S. I guess there's no other destination in between then where they allegedly departed and where they were going. But I'm not big on drugs, but we're talking about the legalities and the willingness of this administration to create their own laws. U.S. defense officials have so far declined to offer details on the strike, footage of which Trump shared on Truth, including what legal authority they relied upon to justify it. Wait a minute. U.S. defense officials have so far declined to offer details on the strike footage which Trump shared on Truth Social, including what legal authority they relied upon to justify it. So they're not saying. BBC Verify reached out to a range of experts in international and maritime law, with several saying that U.S. may have acted illegally in attacking the vessel. The U.S. is not a signatory to the United Nations Convention on the law of the sea, but the U.S. military legal advisors have previously said that the U.S. should act in a manner consistent with its provisions. Under the convention, countries agree not to interfere with vessels operating in international waters. There are limited exceptions to this, which allow a state to seize a ship, such as a hot pursuit where a vessel is chased from a country's waters into the high seas. Force can be used to stop a boat, but generally this should be non-lethal measures. Pro Luke Moffat of Queen's University, Belfast said. But he added that the use of aggressive tactics must be reasonable and necessary in self-defense where there is imminent threat of serious injury or loss of life to enforcement officials, noting that the U.S. moves were likely unlawful under the law of the sea. Our U.S. strikes on alleged cartels members. Legal experts have also questioned whether the killing of the alleged members of the Trinidad Alagra cartel could contrive international law on the use of force. Article 2, Section 4 of the UN Charter, countries can resort to force when under attack and deploying their military in self-defense. Trump has previously accused the 10-day Araga cartel of conducting irregular warfare against the U.S. When? But when has this happened? He's accused them of it, but no specifics. And the State Department has designated the group a foreign terrorist organization. Oh, how convenient. How convenient. But Professor Michael Becker of Trinity College Dublin told BBC verifies that the U.S. action stretches the meaning of the term beyond its breaking point. The fact that U.S. officials describe the individuals killed by the U.S. strike as narco-terrorists does not transform them into lawful military targets, he said. The U.S. is not engaged in an armed conflict with Venezuela or the Trinidad Alaga criminal organization. Not only does the strike appear to have violated the prohibition of the use of force, it also runs afoul of the right to life under the international human rights law. Professor Massa said that the use of force in this case could amount to an extrajudicial arbitrary killing and a fundamental violation of human rights. Labeling everyone a terrorist does not make them a lawful target and enables strikes to sidestep international law, he said. Notre Dame law professor Mary Ellen O'Connell told BBC verified that the strike violated fundamental principles of international law, adding international killing outside armed conflict hostilities is unlawful unless it is to save life immediately. Sometimes our armed groups waging war against government deal in drugs for pay for their participation in the conflict. There is no evidence that the gang President 4547 targeted is such a group. But the U.S. officials have been quick to defend the strike. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, you ain't found a good man in your life now? Go stick a dick in your mouth and shut the fuck up. Wrote on X that the strike was the ultimate and most welcome sign that we have a new sheriff in town. Really, bitch? Ugh. Anyway. Ghislaine Maxwell said that you're gay, Lindsey Graham. I haven't seen you open your mouth about that. Why so quiet on that, Lindsey Graham? You had nothing to say about that. She said that people in the White House said that you are a flaming homosexual, Lindsey Graham. What do you have to say about that? His fellow Republican senators, Bernie Moreno from Ohio, wrote, sinking this boat saved Americans' lives. To the narco traffickers and the narco dictators, you'll eventually get the same treatment. Oh, really? Okay. Is that what we're doing now? A White House official told BBC verified that Trump had authorized the strike on the boat, which they say was crewed by Trinidad Aragua members after it left Venezuela. The officials added that the president, now usually when this type of stuff happened, they would have a little a photo array of these alleged gang members who were on the boat. They will tell you who they are. That's how it usually works. They even do that in who was that sheriff in Texas that does it all the time? Not Texas, in Florida, in I forget what part of Florida. He always come out with a big photo array of people who they have arrested for this, that, and the other. Old country white sheriff. Oh, y'all didn't even bother to do that? Okay. Okay. White House official told the BBC verified that Trump had authorized the strike on the boat, which they said was crewed by Trinidad Aragua members after it left Venezuela. The official added that the president was committed to using all means to prevent drugs reaching the U.S. All of them? Isn't that gonna upset Junior a little bit? Is that going to upset a Junior a little tad bit if you prevent all of them he gonna have to go. Y'all have private jets. Y'all are making billions off of this stay in the White House. So I guess you guys can go out and do whatever you want to. The Pentagon has declined to share the legal advice it obtained before carrying out the strike. And we're going to talk about legal advice in the Pentagon as well. We're going to talk about that. U.S. Defense Secretary Hegseth told Fox News, we got incredible assets and they are gathering in the region. Those 11 drug traffickers are no longer with us, sending a very clear signal that this is an activity the United States isn't going to tolerate in our hemisphere. In our hemisphere. Okay, can 4547 launch attacks without congressional approval? Questions have also been raised to whether the White House complied with the U.S. law in authorizing the strike. Has he ever? Has he ever since he's been in office this time? No, he's never. The U.S. Constitution said that only Congress has the power to declare war. However, Article 2, which lays out the president's powers, says that the president shall be the commander-in-chief of the army, and in some constitutional experts have suggested that this grants the president power to authorize strikes against military targets. Now, when these so will he be using Article 2 on you if you decide to protest? So we are real clear that when it is comfortable, when he doesn't go through Congress as he's supposed to, all of a sudden it's an Article 2. All of a sudden it is an emergency. Wasn't it an emergency why he was going to send the troops, the Texas National Guard to Chicago? And what did he say quietly in that press conference I showed you? He said, I'll send them if they ask. So it seems like standing up to a tyrant it appears to be working. But is it going to work when it's time to steal the vote in midterms? Is it going to work then? I don't know. Okay. Oh, let me see. Experts have suggested that this grants the president power to authorize strikes against military targets. Trump administration sources have previously cited this provision when defending U.S. strike on Iran. Another unsuccessful strike. At some point, what is the military good at? Now, Hegseth fired all of these 4-star generals, and all of these strikes that they were doing in Yemen, the strike that they did in Iran, all of these have been unsuccessful strikes. We have become the losing team. Now, while we talk about all of the military might that we have, we're fucking losing all over the world. It's embarrassing. Okay, Trump says that, but it is unclear whether that provision extends to the use of force against non-state actors such as drug cartels. Trump says 11 killed by the U.S. strike on drug-carrying vessels from Venezuela, offers $50 million reward for the arrest of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela's ex-spy chief pleads guilty to narco-terrorism charge. Rumen Chavolk, an expert in U.S. constitutional law at King's College London, told BBC Verified that since 9/11, U.S. presidents have relied upon the 2001 authorization of use of military force when carrying out strikes against groups responsible for the attacks. Its scope has been explained consistently, but its subsequent administrations, he added, it is not independently obvious that the drug cartels such as Trinidad Araga would be within the president's AUFM powers, but that might be what narco terrorists is hinting at. Okay, so questions also remain to whether 4547 complied with the War Powers Resolution, which demands that the president in every possible instant shall consult with Congress before introducing United States armed forces into hostilities. So I just wanted you to read that. I wanted to share that with you. Yeah. So that is what your government is up to. How much did that cost? I'm really wondering how much did that cost the American people? And there is also a article in the Daily Beast. Trump accused of sharing bogus video of deadly boat strike. This is the AI question of it all. President 4547 has been accused of sharing an AI-generated video showing a U.S. military airstrike targeting a boat allegedly carrying drugs from Venezuela. Freddie Nance, Venezuela's communication minister, suggested that the clip 4547 posted on Truth Social, which is believed to have shown the moment that 11 people were killed during the strike in international waters, was faked and looked cartoonish. Okay. 4547 announced Tuesday that the U.S. military had hit the boat. Okay, we know that. Okay. He claimed that people targeted on the boat were members of the Trinidad Araga gang. We know that. He also shared a video of the vessel being struck. We know that. NAMS has now said the video, which is also shared online by several 4547 administration officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Hegseth, being generated by AI. The video shows a ship being attacked and then exploding in a way that looks like a simplified, almost cartoonish animation rather than a realistic depiction of an explosion, Nance wrote on social media. The video contains motion artifacts and lack of realistic detail, which is common in AI generated video. The water in particular looks very stylized and unnatural, he added. Okay, news agency Reuters said that it conducted independent checks on the video and found no evidence of manipulation. Reuters added that throughout verification, Reuters added, though, verification is an ongoing process and it will continue to review the footage as more information becomes available. While not addressing AI claims specifically, John Freely, a former U.S. ambassador to Panama who worked in anti-drug operations in Latin America, said the video shared by the 4547 administration does not align with the standard Coast Guard protocol for stopping boats believed to be carrying narcotics. Everything is done to preserve life, Freely told the Wall Street Journal. What we don't do is just shoot up boats like Netflix likes to pretend. We can shoot in self-defense, but rarely do that. Because most narcos just give up. The Pentagon referred a request for comment from the Daily Beast to the White House. Now, Marco Rubio just referred any questions to the Pentagon, and now the Pentagon is referring you if you have any questions to go to the White House. See how this is going? This don't look good. Marco Rubio can't stand up behind this now. See where this is going? Let me see. The White House, who did not immediately respond. Elsewhere on Tuesday, Trump suggested that the bizarre viral footage showing items being launched from the White House window was probably AI generated. He also said that if it looks bad, it's AI. That's what he said about anything looking bad. You can believe that it's AI. So, he wants to have it many ways. The statement directly contradicts an earlier explanation from the White House, which said the video was genuine and showed a contractor who was doing regular maintenance while the president was gone, and when the president was, in fact, not even gone. That was their first explanation about this shit flying out the window at the White House. It was AI. If it's not AI, if you don't want to say it's AI, is it AI? I don't know. I just can't keep up with the lies of it all. Okay, so let me see if you guys are still here. Let me see if you guys are still here. Yeah, I think I see you guys are still here. Please don't forget to hit the like button. I want to share something with you now that I feel that I would be remiss if I did not share with you. I want to talk about what do I want to talk about? Billions for him and suffering for you. Or do I want to talk? Oh, this is what I want to talk about. I brought this up earlier, so I think I just need to continue with this. If you guys are not familiar with a democracy now, she does some great work, and I also want to. They're talking about the ethnic cleansing in Gaza, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. Okay. Because if we close our eyes in own our own our own administration is funding this, what will we continue to close our eyes about? Okay, let me share my screen with you.
Peace Report, I'm Amy Goodman. Officials in Gaza say Israel's killed 113 Palestinians over the last day, including 33 people seeking food. Al Jazeera reports an Israeli drone strike killed several children who were in line for water in Al-Mawasi, which has been designated a safe zone. This comes as Israel intensifies its attack on Gaza City, where Israel's attempting to forcibly remove the city's entire population of over 1
and intending to forcibly remove the entire population. And this is all happening in a quote unquote a safe zone. Let's continue.
million people. On Tuesday, mourners gathered at Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City to hold prayers for those killed in Israeli strikes.
They had gone out to get clothes. We fled our homes with nothing. They went to get clothes and to get food from their homes, to bring clothes for their children and to get food for themselves because of the situation. We are sitting in tents. We fled with nothing. And look now, they came back as martyrs. And most of the martyrs are either from the Zakim crossings, because they were getting aid, or from when they went to bring clothes, a blanket, or a mattress to sleep on.
Israel has begun mobilizing 60,000 reservists for its push into Gaza City. Here's Eyal Zamir, the chief of staff of the Israeli.
The push, the final solution. You remember when they called all the not giving up on the war, the final solution to unalive as many Jews as they could, the final solution, because they knew the war, they were losing the war, the final solution. They're not They're not even losing this war. They're being supported all the way to the final solution by the American government. Let's be clear.
Armed forces speaking with reservists.
We are preparing for the continuation of the war, continuation of fighting. We are going to enhance and deepen our operation, and that's why we called you.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Israeli army reservists say they will not report for duty if they're called to serve in the Gaza City offensive. At a Tel Aviv news conference, Sergeant Max Kresh said, quote, "We are over 365 and counting soldiers who served during the war and have declared we will not report for duty when called again," unquote. Meanwhile, protesters in Jerusalem took over the roof of the National Library building overlooking the parliament, calling for an end to the war. Israel's army radio reported 13 protesters were arrested.
We came here today to demonstrate in front of the House of the Parliament, to demonstrate and to tell them to bring our hostages back home and to end the war. We need our soldiers back home. We need our hostages back home now. It's been too long for them to stay there. Stop the war now.
Belgium will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly this month, according to
What good is that going to do? There's not going to be any Palestinian people from the looks of things.
the country's foreign minister, comes as France, Britain, Canada, and Australia have all announced they were also prepared to recognize the state of Palestine at the UN General Assembly. Belgium also plans to impose 12 sanctions on Israel, which include a ban on all products from illegal settlements in the West Bank and a review of public.
Meanwhile, America has said that if anybody try to ban products coming from Israel, if anybody try to ban products, put a blockade on Israeli products, their state will not receive FEMA money. Let's continue.
Procurement policies with Israeli companies. This comes as the Trump administration faces growing criticism for suspending visas for Palestinian passport holders, including for Palestinian officials set to attend the annual UN General Assembly. President Trump said Tuesday the U.S. attacked a boat in the southern.
Hold on. Okay. This is the clip about the boat, but I want to share something with you before we go back to the boat. I want to share this with you regarding what's going on in Israel and Palestine. Before I was looking for that boat clip, and there I find it. Okay, leak power. Here is a leak PowerPoint shows Gaza. The Gaza Riviera as the final solution, and you'll be surprised who is involved in drawing up the plans. A architectural firm in Boston, and after it was found out that they did it, they quit the job. Let's see about this.
With the real estate developer. Sagar, this will transition us to the next piece.
Yes.
I think he also is enamored with the real estate developer possibilities of the Gaza Strip.
Definitely. Yeah, that's right. All right, let's get to that, shall we? Because this, we both were going through the post-war plan, the PowerPoints, which remarkably are actually out in the open. And it's actually insane. Let's go and put this up here on the screen. This was from the Washington Post. Gaza post-war plan envisions, quote, voluntary relocation of the entire population. It's called the Great Trust, from a demolished Iranian proxy to a prosperous Abrahamic ally. Let's stick with that. It's the Gaza Reconstruction Economic Acceleration Transformation, or GREAT, as they are calling it. You can actually look at the prospectus. It's linked there. It's completely public. It, quote, envisions a temporary relocation.
It's great. They found words to use the acronym as this is great. The great. Easy to remember. It's great. Okay.
are
what they
calling
did
it.
there.
You can actually look at the prospectus. It's prosperous Abrahamic ally. Let's stick with that. It's the Gaza Reconstruction Economic Acceleration Transformation, or GREAT, as they
I see
are
what they
calling
did
it.
there.
You can actually look at the prospectus. It's linked there. It's completely public. It, quote, envisions a temporary relocation of all of Gaza's more than 2 million population through what it calls voluntary departure to another country or into restricted secured zones inside the enclave during reconstruction. It would be financed, it says, by various shady entities. And I think the most important part here is that it would entail basically the United States being responsible for this. Much of the financial planning has been done by Boston Consulting Group. So this is like inclusion of all of the worst of America. And it's
Now
one
they
of those,
distance themselves now, by the way, for the lawyers.
Anyway, but yeah, for the lawyers, they've put out a statement, etc. But at the very least, this is a classic Jared Kushner style, which, I mean, look, he even said it, right? Over a year ago. He was like, oh, some of the best real estate in the world. And I do think that they are genuinely like enamored by what you said of the Riviera of the Middle East. But the most appealing part to Trump is that, quote, it requires no U.S. government funding and other significant profit to investors. Instead, what it would do is use private U.S. security contractors to distribute food in 4 Gazan locations, like with the GHF, which is de facto under Israeli control. And it would be financed by public and private sector investment for mega projects, from electric vehicle plants, data centers, beach resorts, and high-rise apartments. Now, obviously, I think the question.
Okay, so how's that working out for them? These mercenaries that they have, they're feeding Gaza right now. They're when they go to eat, many of them are being shot dead. That's
Question of like who gets to live there seems to be pretty important. And like the GHF, what we've basically seen is this private quasi force, which includes and is funded by the United States, by the Israeli government. What we know from GHF whistleblower Anthony Aguilar is that the Israelis were the, quote, client and were effectively the ones running this. And if the 2 million people who leave and you build this great resort for, who's it for? Is it for the Israelis? So it's a U.S.-funded development resort Disneyland project so that people in Tel Aviv can come to the beach? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
That's why it's, I mean, disaster capitalism does not even capture what the hell this is. This is dark.
This is like the end
stuff.
stage of
Yeah.
genocide on behalf of development.
It reminds me of that show, the Amazon Prime show about if the Nazis won the war. I'm totally blanking.
Man in the High Castle.
That's what it is. It's like oh, what New York would have looked like if the Nazis had won. It's like bullet trains and super fast Concorde aircraft, and then people are driving through the Midwest and there's ashes, and they're like, oh yeah, it's time for the hospital to burn the bodies. You're like, what? Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the technological future that they envision. So it's, I mean, I won't go that far. It's not as bad, but it's pretty bad.
I mean, it's pretty again, we're talking about committing a genocide and an ethnic cleansing so we can clean out a population so that Trump and Kushner and his buddies can make millions on a real estate deal. That's what we're talking. I mean, and I have to say, the way this article sets it up, like, to not use any language around that is also really a disgrace when it's all laid out in the open. The mechanics of how they describe this, too, are utterly horrifying. First of all, they envision GHF, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation that Tony Aguilar has been blowing the whistle on.
The GHF is the American and Israeli forces that they have not allowing regular aid workers in to feed Palestinians so they can shoot them as they're starving coming to get food. This has been reported by numerous whistleblowers. So let me show you somebody who is a little bit more pissed about this. And if you in 2025 are not disgusted about this, I don't know what to tell you. And if you think that this this affects them, it doesn't affect me. Who's financing this? Who is financing this? The same person that says he is going to put our military on the streets. This is the mind melt of the person who said he's going to put the military on our street. This is the one who is financing it with a lot of your congressmen and senators as well, Democrat and Republicans. So let's see this right here.
Are disgusting racists, and they're the people who say send money to murder Palestinians are disgusting racists, and they're bigoted against Muslims and, by the way, Christians who are also being killed in the occupied territories by Israel.
I think the potential in the Gaza Strip is unbelievable. The Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
I don't want to get struck for the music. Okay.
AI generated video that Donald Trump posted on his social media accounts earlier this year. Well, the Washington Post has discovered that plans for a so-called Gaza Riviera under US control are in fact underway within the Trump administration. Lots of alarming details to get here, but first, Cenk, initial thoughts that they are planning something like this.
So look, the most important part of this is this comical idea that don't worry, we're gonna remove all of the Palestinians from Gaza, but later we're going to bring them back, maybe 10 years later. And America kind of owns it, but not really. I mean, you have to pay for a lot of it and you've got to rebuild it. Of course, Israel's not gonna spend any money doing that. Don't be ridiculous.
We're gonna give the Palestinian some Bitcoin, some type of coin, Bitcoin, or whatever useless coin, and we're gonna pay them $5,000 to move off of their land, and we're gonna give them coins for housing. That's the plan.
But later, maybe we'll gift it to America. Maybe we'll bring the Palestinians back. No, here's what they're gonna do. They're gonna make us clean up their mess, and then they're gonna keep it. That's the most obvious thing in the world. But here, see the details of how they're planning to trick people into thinking, oh yeah, we're just relocating the Palestinians for their own good. Yeah, because this current Israeli government looks like they want to help the Palestinians so much.
Yeah. Well, let's get.
If they want to relocate the Palestinians, why won't they relocate them to all the territories in the West Bank that Israelis have come in and chased people out of their actual houses in the West Bank? How about that? There's a start. No. We are not going to condemn the Israelis who came down and just chase people out of their homes. Now, can you imagine? Can you imagine that happening to you? You being chased out of your homes. They have shown these settlers in Gaza shooting guns, throwing rocks at anybody who come up to talk to them about why they're doing this. They have had some Americans who had the audacity to go up there and thought that they were going to be talked to. No, they were treated like Palestinians. They were shooting guns in the air, and not only in the air, around in circles on them. Thank God, if you got shot, you shot. If you didn't get shot, one American, I think he was an American Palestinian, got shot, and they blocked the streets for, I believe it was 20-something hours, so no help could get to him. So what do we expect from these people? And they want to call other people animals. Let's continue.
Get into some of the details here. The Washington Post got their hands on the Trump administration's proposal dubbed the Gaza Reconstruction, Economic Acceleration and Transformation Trust, or GREAT Trust. The 38-page prospectus envisions at least a temporary relocation of all of Gaza's more than 2 million population, either through what it calls voluntary departures to another country or into restricted secured zones inside the enclave during reconstruction. And here is how the strip would be governed. As outlined in the trust document, Israel would transfer administrative authorities and responsibilities in Gaza to the Great Trust under a U.S.-Israel bilateral agreement that would evolve into a formal trusteeship. The outline foresees eventual investments by Arab and other countries that would turn the arrangement into a multilateral institution. Israel would maintain overarching rights to meet its security needs during the first year of the plan, while nearly all internal security would be provided by unspecified TCN, or third country nationals, and Western private military contractors. Their role would gradually decrease over a decade as trained, quote, local police take over. The trust would govern Gaza for a multi-year period, it estimates. Will take 10 years until a reformed and de-radicalized Palestinian polity is ready to step in its shoes. This is just so offensive. The document doesn't make any reference to eventual Palestinian statehood, and it seems that the Trump administration's ideal world, Palestinians would just leave the strip altogether. Israel's negotiations with other countries to take in Palestinian refugees have been in the works for a while now. Netanyahu is talking to several countries, allegedly, about taking displaced Gazans, including Libya, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Indonesia, and Somaliland. In their place, a tourism and manufacturing hub would be installed, featuring dynamic and modern cities. Gaza's western waterfront would be reserved for the Gaza Trump Riviera, boasting, quote, world-class resorts with the possibility of artificial islands similar to the palm-shaped ones built off the UAE city of Dubai. Here's what Palestinians would allegedly get out of this plan. Those who own land would be offered a digital token by the trust in exchange for rights to redevelop their property to be used to finance a new life elsewhere, or eventually
one whole digital token. Is that one whole digital? I bet the zoning and coding is going to be something else. I bet you that one coin is going to be so valuable to build on their own land. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will.
Deemed for an apartment in one of 6 to 8 new AI-powered smart cities to be built in Gaza. Each Palestinian who chooses to leave.
Oh, it seems like the AI bros are in on this as well. You know, Peter Thiel, who's over at Palantir, who was a big Israeli defense mechanism that helped find large pockets of people in Palestine to be unalive. It seems like they are going. It seems like they're going to get something else out of this deal. Are you surprised? Is anyone surprised? I guess I'm just the only one surprised. I don't see anyone writing in the comments. I appreciate you still being here.
Eve would be given $5,000 in cash and subsidies to cover 4 years of rent elsewhere, as well as a year of food. So who is behind this plan? The proposal was developed by the same Israelis who created the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, where thousands of Palestinians have been gunned down trying to get food. The document claims that the proposal wouldn't require any US government funding and would offer significant profit to investors. The trust plan does not rely on donations. The prospectus says instead it would be financed by private sector and public investment, and what it calls.
So who's investing in this? Are regular people investing in this, or is it billionaires investing in this? I showed you a article yesterday how Peter Thiel and a lot of these tech bros are looking to build all of these advanced AI type cities where there is no governance. They figure out the governance of the city and all of this stuff. I just read it. I just read you guys this yesterday. I understand a lot of other shit is important, but you know, I just giving you a heads up on what these billionaires and their AI creations have thought of. So you think that having the military in our streets is going to protect us? When the United States military is using Palantir, all of our defense systems are using the same Palantir. Let's continue.
Mega projects from electric vehicle plants and data centers to beach resorts and high-rise apartments. Jank, my blood is absolutely boiling reading all of this. It is disgusting. It is offensive. What do you make of this?
Okay, first I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. I want to look. I don't think this will be controversial, certainly in our audience, in terms of how you react to it. But I'm curious to see if anyone believes them. So we asked on tyt.com, what do you think Israel will do after it relocates the Palestinians from Gaza? A, give it back to the Palestinians later, as they claim. Gift it to America, because that's implied every once in a while. Trump has said, oh, America's going to have it. Or keep it for themselves. Well, it's a pleasure to see that you're all intelligent and educated people. So obviously the first two got 0 votes. Because who is big enough of a sucker to think, oh yeah, after they remove 2 million Palestinians and take Gaza, which they've had as part of Greater Israel throughout, they have already voted in their Knesset that they will never allow the Palestinians to run Gaza or the West Bank or ever have an independent state. After they destroyed 90% of Gaza, after Netanyahu said that he's on a historic mission to create Greater Israel, after Smotrich and others have said, yeah, our job is to annihilate the Palestinians in Gaza and take it for ourselves, to think that, oh yeah, they just want to build it back up on behalf of the Palestinians, and then they'll bring them back. Only an utter moron would believe that, or one of our corrupt politicians who's paid by the Israeli lobby to pretend that things they say aren't lies, or some in mainstream media who might say, well, Israel says they love the Palestinians. Israel says that after they remove.
Okay, let me drop this link. I hadn't pinned it to my description box. All of the other links have been pinned to my description box. I just wanted to let you know what is going on and who is promoting this, who is profiting from this, and who really seems to have no problem, no qualms about eliminating a whole race of people from the face of the earth, never to be seen again. You know, taking whatever they want from you. And if you think that it is going to be safe having the National Guard out here, you are sadly mistaken. In my opinion, I don't think that any of that is going to happen. Now, I want to go back to one more story about that ship that was bombed, the alleged drug ship. Let me find that story because now Maduro, who is over Venezuela, has been called by Carolyn Levitt, the spokesperson for 4547, a illegitimate candidate. I didn't follow that. I'm just telling you where it is right now, what I've heard right now. So they're trying to say that he is, in fact, an illegitimate president. Now, Maduro says that 4547, what he's trying to do is he's trying to throw him out of office via a coup of some sort. Maduro also said something interesting. Maduro also said that he has amassed how many? I can't remember how many soldiers he has amassed as a army to be prepared to go up against the United States. But also, we have learned that Maduro is thanking President Xi for sending him a cell phone that is untraceable. So while these American white boys are sitting over here talking about they need to pollute all of your land because they need to make the best AI. Are these Americans producing anything like that? They could be, but probably not, since the alleged best AI has already been created in China for under $6 million. Okay, let's go. The Chat GPT guy, when they found out that China already had AI, he was astounded at its abilities. And it needs no cooling station. It need no data stations. It doesn't need to connect into your electricity and water at all. Like these antiquated, not created AI that these white boys are creating in America, that are polluting that are polluting your air, your water, making your electricity and water bills go through the roof. None of this stuff. But you notice how they never talk about this? They don't talk about that no more. So let me show you, let me share this with you.
From Venezuela, but offered no proof of the claim. The Pentagon recently sent warships to the region after Trump secretly authorized the use of military force in Latin America under the guise of the war on drugs. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has repeatedly warned Trump is seeking regime change in his oil-rich country. This is Maduro speaking Monday.
Mr. President, Donald Trump.
Mr. President Donald Trump, you must be careful because Marco Rubio wants to stain your hands with blood. South American, Caribbean, Venezuelan blood. They want to drag you into a bloodbath, to tarnish the Trump name forever with a massacre against the Venezuelan people, with a terrible war across South America and the Caribbean. This would be a full-scale continental war. They want to stain Donald Trump's hands with blood.
In immigration news, a U.S.
Okay. All right. I wanted to share that with you. I also wanted to share, we all remember all the Tuskegee experiments, things, and all of the things that have been dumped into our grounds, our waters, and all of this stuff. We have always like that Aaron Brockovich story where they knew the dangers of the chemicals that they were putting in the waters would cause cancers, but they did try to keep it a secret and then when it was discovered, they tried to lowball these people. Let's check out what I think it was in St. Louis, Missouri, what they did to the people in the ghetto there. Let me. Okay, I have it right here. If you didn't hear about this, I don't know if we are going to be hearing more about this, but let's get into it. I won't disturb this. This something new.
Secret government experiment. Now to a News Nation exclusive investigation into a secret government experiment that was carried out in St. Louis. Residents tell us they still remember a mysterious fog. Children would run through it. Mothers would try and close their windows against it. For decades, they all had questions, and now we're seeking answers. The United States Army now admits that it sprayed a chemical that contained cadmium, a known carcinogen, on a neighborhood of more than 10,000 people. Critics say this was done with no warning and no consent. Well, tonight we return to the site of that demolished neighborhood and speak with former residents who believe the government turned them into human test subjects. Although the Army admits that the test happened, it is not admitted to harming the residents. News Nation's Natasha Zubez investigates what was in the fog and why the truth may still be buried.
The fog drifted through the streets like a ghost.
That's exactly what it looked like, a thick fog.
It was summertime and it was hot. We would just run through it as fast as we could and try to just cool ourselves off. It stuck to you.
The spray was so foul as far as the odor. It made some of us have headaches, nausea, dizziness.
That's what I remember. It made me sick.
It wasn't the weather. It was an eerie smoke descending from rooftops, rolling from the backs of trucks.
Regular flatbed truck, but it had a big machine on the back. And it had a big nozzle that really sprayed a fog you couldn't even see through. It was that thick. And it really, we felt it as it would adhere to our skin. And as far as the gas,
they actually had trucks rolling through the neighborhood spraying this stuff, and that's why I do not trust those mosquito trucks that come by and spray areas. I don't trust that at all. But let's continue.
as on top of the buildings, they tried to portray them to us.
Those mosquito trucks, I don't see them. I don't see them in big cities. I see them in southern cities and towns. Let's continue.
As maintenance workers. But we was like, what is a maintenance worker doing? And basically a hazmat suit. And they had masks and goggles.
In the 1950s and 60s, in secret, the U.S. Army sprayed zinc cadmium sulfide into the air of a St. Louis housing project, a largely black neighborhood called Pruitt-Igoe.
It was a lose-lose situation for us in Pruitt-Igoe. We were subjects. We were subjects.
They didn't ask for our permission. We didn't ask for them to spray us. My government used me like I was a guinea pig.
We're standing at where Pruitt-Igoe used to be here in St. Louis, and it's hard to believe more than 10,000 people used to live here. As we bring our drone up, you can see it's mostly just an empty lot now, overgrown with trees. This used to be filled with 33 high-rise buildings. It was all demolished in 1976. And according to the National Research Council, St. Louis was chosen for spraying experiments because it had similar characteristics to Soviet targets like Moscow in terms of population density and terrain and proximity to a river. The government now admits to a secretive series of Cold War tests, including one dubbed large area coverage. More than 30 tests conducted across the U.S. and Canada, spraying zinc cadmium sulfide from planes, rooftops, and vehicles to simulate how a biological attack might spread, all to prepare for potential warfare against the Soviets.
Many of us been in the military and had top secret clearances. We know how it works. We have died for America. We have fought for America.
You are a veteran.
I am United States Air Force veteran.
Dr. Starks, you're a veteran as well.
Yes, I am. I'm an Air Force veteran also.
Is there a sense of betrayal here?
Definitely, definitely.
They want to know if those secret tests have anything to do with what they're observing with their own eyes.
I lost my two older siblings to cancer. I lost a brother last month.
I've been diagnosed recently with a rare form of lymphoma.
I had cancer of the left kidney, had partial removal of my left kidney.
News Nation reached out to the Army for answers. They provided a one-page response. It says the Army's own Center for Health Promotion and Preventive Medicine investigated in 1994 and found inhalation exposure would not pose a health risk. They also cite later corroborating reviews, including a 1997 review by the National Research Council. Perhaps they assumed we wouldn't read the NRC's 380-page report, but we did, and the Army's statement doesn't show the full picture. In that 1997 review, the National Research Council explicitly says repeated exposure to zinc cadmium sulfide can cause kidney or bone toxicity or lung cancer if levels are high enough. And they admitted they couldn't fully assess the risk. Why? Because some Army records remain classified, it says, for national security reasons. More troubling, key Army exposure records were missing. And when the NRC asked the Army to supply them, the Army said it couldn't find them. Finally, the NRC considered conducting its own study, but concluded it wasn't feasible. In short, it did not test the site, collect samples, or test residents, and they didn't have access to all the data. Their review was based on what the Army gave them, and what the Army either could not find or withheld. The Army ends its statement to News Nation by saying, quote, none of the reports contained evidence of a radioactive component to the zinc-cadmium sulfide dispersion tests. Residents say the secrecy and delays are no accident.
They're waiting us out.
They're waiting on all of us to die.
But that's not even the whole story, as residents demand to know what else could have been in that spray.
They have not come clean with what was in there.
Do you believe that it was just zinc-cadmium sulfide in that spray?
No.
No.
We go to the source, a researcher who has spent decades declassifying government documents about these tests.
Do you believe the U.S. government sprayed some kind of radioactive material on the residents of St. Louis?
I believe that they did. And the government's surprising response to our request to declassify information.
I mean, what the hell?
Plus, renowned activist Erin Brockovich weighs in. Do you think there's been a lie here, a cover-up here?
It sure looks that way.
The residents are asking for an apology from the government for being experimented on. They are asking for compensation, for health studies for themselves and their children. They're also asking for transparency. They want the government to release all the documents about this spraying. So, Elizabeth, tomorrow night on your show, we will go on a journey to try to declassify the one government document that a key researcher tells us she has never been able to expose. And we take the investigation to Erin Brockovich. For the residents still here, still fighting, the question is whether they will get any answers before it's too late. Elizabeth.
Permission. We didn't ask for them to spray us. My government used me like I was a guinea pig.
They're waiting us out.
They're waiting on all of us to die.
The government admits it sprayed a chemical that contained cadmium, a known carcinogen, critics say without warning and without consent. They sprayed it on a neighborhood of more than 10,000 people, but now years later, residents are getting sick, some with rare forms of cancer, and they're asking what else might be hidden from them. Specifically, what else could have been in that spray? News Nation's Natasha Zubas picks up the investigation from here.
We're on our way to meet with a researcher right now who has dedicated her career, decades, to declassifying documents and trying to figure out what exactly happened here in the city of St. Louis and what exactly was in that spray. Across the country, the government conducted secret Cold War experiments in plain sight.
It was so secretive that we're really just now sort of digging out from underneath us to try to understand the scale of it.
And Dr. Lisa Martino-Taylor helped uncover many of them.
We know that they were giving radioactive cocktails to pregnant women. We know that they were feeding radioactive oatmeal to children in state schools. They've admitted to those things, and they won't release the material related to St. Louis.
It's true. American children in state-run institutions like the Fernald School were fed radioactive oatmeal as part of studies by MIT sponsored by the Atomic Energy Commission. You can see some of the documents Dr. Martino-Taylor worked to gather and declassify on MIT letterhead describing experiments on human subjects. The children, some of them orphans, were told they'd be joining a science club. They were promised a quart of milk a day, a trip to a baseball game, to the beach. A copy of the 1994 congressional hearing shows those children, now grown, describing being told the oatmeal was just vitamins and recalling the health problems that followed. Lumps on my arms, my stomach. Pregnant women were also unknowingly given radioactive iron at top hospitals in Tennessee and California to study how radiation crossed the placenta, some later reporting miscarriages, illness, or birth defects. A class action lawsuit resulted in a settlement in the 90s.
Do you believe the U.S. government sprayed some kind of radioactive material on the residents of St. Louis?
I believe that they did. There's so much contextual evidence that points that way, and I spent years looking at this.
She says her research reveals the men who designed and oversaw the St. Louis experiments were some of the top experts in radioactive weapons.
We know that the people who designed the study, who oversaw the study, these were all the radiological weapons experts who were looking at open-air radiological weapons.
One of them, Brigadier General William Creasy, was head of the Army Chemical Corps, the very branch leading America's secret radiological weapons program during the Cold War. He brought in a scientist named Philip Layton, who was the Army's leading authority on using radioactive particles in aerosol form, fog-like clouds designed to drift over enemy terrain.
So the very man who designed this spraying experiment in St. Louis was an expert in using radioactive fog against the enemy.
Yes, he was the expert. The expert.
Then she...
So what is there, what questions do we have? We don't have questions, we just have denials. From who are our military?
Says there's the timing.
They were looking for a city to test their offensive weapons program. They wanted to do it. They expressed this in documents. St. Louis was their chosen city. That was their analog city to Moscow. And they wanted to do this in 1953. They showed up in 1953 in St. Louis.
But there's one document Dr. Martino Taylor has never been able to unearth. It's still classified. The Joint Quarterly reports detail the spraying experiments, all written by Layton himself. The last one is missing. It's called Joint Quarterly Report 5, and we tried to get it. Our team filed a Freedom of Information Act request on May 5th of 2025. By law, the government must respond to a FOIA within 20 working days, but it's been more than 3 months with multiple follow-ups. Nothing. The silence is what's called a constructive denial, and renowned activist Erin Brockovich says it reminds her of cases where the truth was hidden. So, Erin, what is your...
Okay, the link is in my description box. I hope you guys go check it out. The last link in my description box is also should make you feel warm and cozy inside. The Defense Department is they are appointing different attorneys as judges for immigration cases. Now, understand that this same administration has just fired a lot of immigration judges, and since all of this crackdown has happened, and I guess they fired them thinking that they didn't need judges, but now that they find that they need judges, they are handpicking attorneys to be immigration judges. The judges that they fired previously, some of them were fired without notice. A lot of them were judges that were training the immigration judges that come behind them. Why is this important? Because it's okay to be an attorney, to practice as an attorney. However, there is so much more information that the attorney has to study to even work an immigration case, much less be an immigration judge. So apart from what your Defense Department has done in St. Louis, your Defense Department is still up to some things that are indefensible. So I just thank you guys for being here. I hope you enjoyed the information that I gave you today, and I hope you have a great remainder of your night. And if you want to support the page, $ Ronnie Q, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I gotta run because Rascal is on my ass. Bye.